It's great to see the people here with the Sons of the American Revolution, I suppose, in costume, so thank you. I look forward to, you may be able to speak to us, right? Call to order, it's 6:30. We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
So I'd like to introduce the Sons of the American Revolution. They're with us today. So with us today is Ernie Burr and Mike Davis and Bruce Huerta, and they are with the Sons of the American Revolution, and they're going to lead us in the flag salute, and then they're going to take over and talk a little bit about what they do, and then give a little video. So thank you for being here. You can move to the microphone at the podium and lead us in the flag salute.
This is a different format than we normally follow, but we'll make it work. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You can be seated. Normally we walk in with a musketeer in front and a musketeer behind a Betsy Ross flag. And we do this in the morning. This is the first time we've done an evening thing, so let's just hope we can make it work. Anyway, I'm Arnie Burr, and of course you introduced Mike Davis and Bruce Huerta, and they'll have a little bit to say here a little later on. We're members of the National Society of the Sons of the American Revolution, enjoying this the largest male lineal society in the United States. We are dedicated to preserve the future and the knowledge of the American Revolution. I have identified 5 ancestors that supported the cause for the revolution. And that's the only way you can get into this society, is you have to prove your lineage through somebody that was involved during the Revolutionary War on the, not a Tory, but a patriot. Anyway, I had Aaron Jackson, Aphan Jackson, Andrew and Thomas Ketchum, and Chabelle Burr were my relatives that I was able to identify. We have a mission statement that I think pretty much wraps everything up pretty good. The Sons of the American Revolution honors our revolutionary patriot ancestors by promoting patriotism, serving our communities, and educating, inspiring the future generations about the founding principles of our country. Education is a very important part of this whole thing, obviously, and that's why I'm here for tonight. During COVID, we were unable to go to schools and do our program. We usually go to about 15 to 20 schools a year and talk to 5th grade students, but we were unable to do that during the COVID period. So we came to the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, and with Steve back there and help from a couple other people in his department, they ended up making 8 modules, and right now they're going to show you one of the modules. Hello, I'm Arnie Burr with the Kern chapter of the Sons of the American Revolution, and I'm here to talk about what life was like 250 years ago during the Revolutionary War. There was no electricity during the Revolutionary War. It even hadn't been invented yet. So we're so accustomed to televisions and computers and phones and lights, they didn't have that. What they used for lighting were candles. They had to make their own candles. This is a candle mold. They would take and drop strings down through the holes, what we'd call a wick, come out the end. They would take beeswax, melt it, or they would use lard from the animal fats and stuff. Pour it in here after it's melted, leave it sit for a few hours until it all set up, turn it around, give it a tap. A lantern, they could put a stick on it to hold it out here in front of them when they're marching. If they wanted to have sugar or tea or spices, they would have a little can like this with some of their spices and so forth in it. There were bottles in those days, but no thread, so they had corks to close them. Cups made out of tin and made out of lead. What's the problem with lead? You're right, lead can be poisonous. And they didn't realize that in those days. Lead was used because it melts at a very low temperature. This plate is made out of lead and pewter, sort of a combination of both. And again, it would be very poisonous considered in today's standards, but during those days, it was the best thing they ever had. Some of the silverware they may have used during the Revolutionary War. Crude-looking fork, scoop, a scraper, a spoon. Their knife would have probably been on their side in a sheath. This is a bar of soap made out of lye. Extremely hard on the skin, but in those days they were a lot tougher than we are, I'll guarantee on that, and lye soap was not a problem. Little girls, they would have had a doll, something like this. They would also been wearing clothes very similar to what this doll has on. Boys would carve and make their own little tops, and then they would spin them, and they'd have contests of what top spun the longest. A deck of cards. The deck of cards, a little different than what we see today. There's a king on here, and there's a heart, so this would be the king of hearts. They're blank on the back side, so there would be just basically a very simple little card. This here was probably left over from the French and Indian War, in which a lot of the soldiers fought in before the Revolutionary War. It would be more like a purse, and they would keep more valuable stuff inside here. This is made out of a fox. I have what's called a haversack on. Haversack would be equivalent to your backpacks. I carry everything in this. I have food in it, some dried meat, some jerky. I'd have maybe a biscuit or two in there, maybe a little pinch of salt. But that's what I would carry around. And I'd also have my silverware and spoon. Everything's in this haversack. There's a little notebook. They did do quite a bit of writing. All writing was done in longhand. There was no pencils, so what they had is inkwells, and they would have a feather that was cut, and it was called a quill. And so they would take the quill, drop it in the ink, and then they would write. George Washington, during the Revolutionary War, wrote every single day what he accomplished or didn't accomplish that particular day for records. This is a spyglass, and this is used to bring in objects from a distance away. George Washington would have used something like this. All his officers would have had them. And on ships, the ship captain and the people, and then maybe even somebody way up here in the crow's nest would have a spyglass like this in order to look out and see where the enemy was. A canteen. This canteen's made out of wood. Some canteens were made out of metal, and again, they were lined with lead. And of course, the lead was making them sick, but they didn't realize that at the time. A pipe. Smoking was very popular during the Revolutionary War. This pipe has a very tiny hole in it. And as the hole would plug up, they would just snap it off, and it would get shorter and shorter. Before long, it would be down to a little stub. And then they'd make themselves a new pipe. This is made out of clay. This was the razor that was used to shave. Use a little lye soap, and then shave. Now we have a bunch of weapons here at the end. Powder horn, which carries the black powder. This is also a different style of powder horn, which has an adjustable device on it so you can control how much is going in. This happens to be a pistol, a flintlock pistol, in which it uses flints to fire. The saber is curved. Bayonet goes on the end of the musket. The musket weighs 10 pounds, and it again is a flintlock. From the Indian days, we have a tomahawk or an axe. They were using them probably more as axes to cut down trees than to use in a battle. Transportation. There was no cars, planes, buses, trains, none of that. If you wanted to move, you moved most likely by walking, horseback, or maybe in a buggy or a wagon. All the major cities and towns were all along the Atlantic coast or on rivers. And they would use ships like this to move the people from Europe to America and back. What makes this ship move? You're right, wind. Without the wind, this ship just sits in the middle of the ocean. Sometimes it would take over 2 months to go from Boston to London, and another couple months back. All right, well, this concludes our unit then on what life was like 250 years ago during the Revolutionary War in America. Thank you. It's a little bit of a challenge. If a siren went by, we were at the Kern County Museum, and a plane would fly over, we'd have to start all over again, or like I said, sirens and things. But it worked out well. I really appreciate the superintendent of schools office doing all the videoing, and then Brian. Well, I think it was Brian was the one that did all the writing and added all that script into it. So he did a really super job, and we really appreciate that. But I'm going to have Mike here talk about some of the other modules just so you get an idea, but it was just not me, but a lot of other people.
Hello, my name is Mike Davis, and I have a sixth great-grandfather, Harmonius Alkire, who was a first lieutenant for the Virginia Colonial Army. I found him, that came from my grandmother. Her maiden name was Alkire. The first thing I want to show you is a toy. This is what we carry. Some people carry other replicas, but we never carry them to schools. This comes from the movie The Patriot. You may have seen that. That's what this one is for. I just wanted to show it to you. It is absolutely safe. The other modules that we do, I'll talk about mine first. I do flags. I do a history of the colonies up through the 1812 war. And I start with what was on board ship, what kind of flags they carried, and then we go through state flags, battle flags, and then come into more modern era. 1812, we finish with the national anthem. So the other modules include clothing. There's a lady who comes and talks about clothing. I'll talk a little bit about our clothing tonight. There's another guy who comes and talks about money. And what kind of money did they use? They used all kinds of different money. 3 different kinds of money were used. It's a fellow that comes and talks about weapons and war. And he's an ex-ranger, so he pretty much tells it like it is, including the medicine that came along with the battles. There's a lady who comes, she's a member of the Daughters of the American Revolution. She plays the drum. She comes and plays drums for the kids and asks them to understand what kind of communication came from the drums. Reveille, wake up, go to bed. There are 26 different patterns that she does on the drum. So she gives them 4 examples and then asks them to identify which one when she plays it without a prompt. Another fella, let's see, talks about the Marines. And one fella talks about a particular battle. So you can see that it would take quite a while for our program, about an hour and a half, with a question and answer period at the end. The kids are wonderful. They're just wonderful. We've probably done 30.
Different schools, yeah, at least 30 schools are in the network. But we just did one last week. We're going to be doing Our Lady of Perpetual Help
Okay.
May 1st.
Right.
We still got several more to go.
Right, so we have several more to do. We do them throughout the year. The kids love us. They just really do. And it's a lot of fun for us. I'm a retired teacher, so it's fun for me. The next thing I want to do is talk about our clothing, so you get an idea what this is all about. I'd like for Arnie to stand up. Arnie is our highest ranking soldier. You can tell that because he's got gold buttons, he's got gold epaulets, he's got a red sash, and that all indicates that he is an officer.
It's lined in red because it shot, the blood was scared away.
Yeah, we'll see when we talk to a private. He doesn't have red interior on his. His is not lined. So That is to help disguise the fact that the officer was wounded. Arnie is wearing a colonial hat that is, has a white band at the top. The white band indicates that he's a infantryman. The gold band that you might see, that's artillery. Okay, my hat, I'm a civilian, so that's what. Now, Arnie, show them. There's the little hearts on his coat. See the little hearts? Okay, that means, that indicates love of country. So what they did was, when they put these things together, they tried to tell you as much as possible without having any writing. Let's see. He has his haversack. He has on breeches, as do I. This is common. People wore these. This is what you wore when you were in that time period. And you have garters to hold the socks up, because there were no such thing as safety pins or Velcro or zippers, none of that stuff.
Either wool or cotton.
Yeah, it was either wool or cotton, and some flax linen. So we'll have Bruce stand up so you can see. Bruce also has haversack, same colors chosen by George Washington, and it's much more simple. Doesn't have any kind of decoration on his outfit. Breeches show the white lining, so we can tell if Bruce has been shot. Okay, my outfit. I'm dressed as a merchant. I'm one of the guys who would be called in case we had an emergency. I'm a Minuteman. I'm dressed similar to what most men would have worn at that time period. Breeches, short pants, socks, buckled shoes. The shoes that we wear now come in left and right. The shoes that they had then came only one way. You broke the shoes in. So it took a while to get used to that. Now, I told you that the hat has has no decoration this because it's a civilian hat. So I'm wearing, instead of a haversack, I have on a possibles bag. In my possibles bag, I don't have to carry food, but I have to carry repair work to my musket. I have to carry something to help light a fire, and I have to carry spare bullets in here. So that's what that's all about. This is my eating knife, okay, or a patch knife, they called it. That has to do with putting the bullet together, okay? So, okay, now we're going to let Bruce say some things.
Good evening. And so we're going to get away from these old guys and come to the current time. So we're talking about the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration. And so the Sons of the American Revolution has what they call the 250th celebration. It's going to be a 10-year celebration, so it's not just next year, because if you're doing your math right now, you're trying to figure out when does that equal, and so that's 2026 would be 250 years after 1776. But the Sons of the American Revolution wants to have a 10-year party instead of just 1 year. So what has started already, and will continue for a few more years, is starting in 1783, Boston Tea Party, going to 1783 is the signing of the Treaty of Paris. So 2 years ago, we had the reenactment of the 250th of the Tea Party. Last year, we celebrated the First Continental Congress. This year, let's make this interactive. Does anybody know what happened 250 years ago? Probably about this month, about a week from now. Okay, so the education of this society needs to be improved. April 18th, 18th, listen, my children, you shall hear. The Midnight Ride of Paul Revere. Okay, so on the Midnight Ride, there's one if by land, two if by sea. Paul Revere and some guys went to notice all the other colonists that, hey, the British are coming. Then on the 19th, early morning, it's Lexington and Concord. And so this year, the 250th celebration of that particular battle. Then next year, of course, will be the Declaration of Independence and going on until 2033 for the signing of the Treaty of Paris. Now, in addition to all of that, keeping us current and in this, this century, the Sons of the American Revolution are also having what they call a liberty tree, where they would plant liberty trees nationwide, and that's to signify in 1765, the Patriots gathered around. You always have to have a place you gather around. There was a tree, and the British didn't like them gathering around, so they cut it down. That didn't stop them. They still met. Well, SAR wants to kind of remember that occasion by planting liberty trees nationwide, every state trying to plant that to get 250 trees planted by next year, July 4th. Also, to keep in the spirit of our mission of education and keeping the spirit and history alive, there are some activities for students to participate in. And one of those things is a video contest. So anybody who knows how to do TikTok and things like that, this would be right up your alley. That must be, there's rules about it, but approximately 5 minutes long, has to be in a certain format, must reference 3 factual instances that would have occurred back in that time period, and that can then go on to a local chapter, which would be in Kern County, and you're awesome, so you then advance to the state, so all of California, you compete against everyone, and then you're really good, so then you get to go on to nationals. Now, I am the state chairman for the State of California video contest. A little inside scoop here. In the past, nationwide, there's really been about 3 or 4 states that have participated. The National Committee wants to encourage more participation. This was the first year for California. We had 0 people participate. So, if you're doing the math, and there's only about 10 states total nationwide, if you're really industrious, your chances of winning are pretty good. Now, of course, everybody's hearing this, so they're going to go home, so we're going to have a whole bunch of people participate this year. But your chances are, okay, if you win here, you can go on to the state. And if the other chapters aren't doing anything, because they didn't this year, your chances of winning are even better. So this is my selfish plug of saying, please participate in the youth video contest, and we can be getting information out to the schools for that later. And one other ask I have is that for the 250th celebration of the shot that was heard around the world, okay, we're not going to probably reenact that battle, but the recommendation is to maybe recite Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's poem that I started to, and I probably messed up horribly. So if it's not too late, can you get the word out to the schools to have, I don't know, their English teacher, their drama, not so much the teacher, but to tell the students to have the drama class, the English class, the history class, somebody to be reading that poem, either first thing in the morning when they do announcements, if they still do that these days, I don't know. They did it when I was a kid. And or like at noontime, whatever works out best. Take pictures and send it to us, and then we can send it to our state chapter's magazine. And we'll give you back all your time, because I'm sure we went way too long, but thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We appreciate your historical, educational, and patriotic presentation to us. I'm sure we all learned something, even though we probably forgot it before.
for the record, you guys look great.
Yes.
The lady that Mike was saying, we have a female that does the drums, she's the DAR, but we also have a lady from the DAR that actually sewed all these uniforms for us.
Awesome.
This is actually, this came from the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson. So it's a little bit different, the buttons are crude and everything else, these have actually say USA on them, they're gold.
Thank you again.
All right.
And your website is sar.org, is that correct? www.sar.org.
Yes, that's the national, yeah. You should have got a little flyer.
Yes, we do.
Just for the public, if they wanted to find you.
You should have, inside it, there's a link, some of them have the link inside, which has all 8 modules on it. But on the back, it shows the pictures of things that we do.
So is this, just so people listening in online
Each
can
one of
know?
those, they're all the same. The little piece of paper, you
Okay.
just share them so they can, that's the link to those. And then in here, we have how to, if a person's interested, we have a registrar that works with you to get yourself into the organization. And then we also have, we go to schools, so all this information's in here. I'm the school liaison person, so my email address is in this. I just didn't have enough of these. I didn't know we were gonna have this. So.
Well, they heard you, so they can look you up.
That's right.
So thank you again.
Thank you.
Well, now we'll move on to roll call, please.
Julie Beechner,
Present.
Joe Marcano,
Here.
Mary Little,
Present.
Jose Gonzalez, Lori Eskew,
Here.
James Robinson,
Present?
Lori Cisneros,
Here.
Anaí Valencia. Here. Thank you.
We are now item 1.4, adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? Any opposed? So ordered, thank you. 1.5, approval of minutes from March 11, 2025.
So moved. So moved?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion, changes? Any opposed? So moved. We are now on public comments, and how many public comments do we have?
3.
We have 3 public comments. Is that only,
How many for CAP?
how many for CAT?
3 general comments and about 53 for charter.
Okay. We have a limited amount of time, but if we did 50 presentations for 3 minutes apiece, we would be here all night. And I don't think you all want to be here that night, all night either. We're going to move the presentations for the CAT comments to when we do the presentation, so you can speak at that time for the agenda item. I am going to ask what the pleasure of the board would be, if you want to limit the time and let more people speak, or do a 20-minute time frame.
So, oh, go ahead, Lori.
I would probably just do a 20-minute, time frame, and they can pick and choose who they'd like to speak.
And we could cut it down to 2 minutes apiece, that way more people could speak? Is that acceptable to the audience? I want to make it fair to you too as well. We could do 1 minute, that would cut it down a lot. If you want to do 1 minute for 20 people? No, you want to do 2 minutes? I'm seeing a difference.
We could, is
Are
there
you
any,
gonna,
could
are you
we,
gonna,
could we extend that time to 30 minutes maybe this evening?
We could. Is that acceptable to the board?
30 minutes max.
30 minutes
30
max?
minutes max?
Okay, and everybody gets 2 minutes apiece? Is that acceptable? All right, we'll do that. So at this time, we'll do the public comments for anything that is on the agenda or that pertains to anything else, and I believe there's 3 people. Okay, go ahead and call them, please.
Greg Arduan.
They're coming from the next room, they'll be here.
Okay.
And who
And then
else?
the next speaker will be Kim Cartiner. And following Kim is Elizabeth Palencia.
Thank you.
And here they are.
Hi, Greg, you were up first.
You start. So, good evening, members of the board. My name is Greg Ardois, y'all know. I'm here today to offer a bit of a refresher regarding the circumstances under which the CAT Charter School petition was accepted by the Kern County Board of Education. It's important to acknowledge that several current board members were not serving on the board at the time of the CAT's approval. And reviewing the facts and findings surrounding the original decision is essential for informed oversight moving forward. According to the findings from the KCSOS office, page 15 of that petition, that is your document, that was created by this office in 2022. The petition was submitted to the County Board on Appeal after it was denied by Bakersfield City School District on August 24th of 2022. That petition was found to be deficient in several areas, including the lack of sufficient teacher signatures required under Education Code 47,605, I like saying it that way, presenting an unsounding educational program, particularly in the areas of special education and English language learners, demonstrable lack of planning to ensure the successful implementation of the program, especially concerning high school curriculum and required credentials for staff. You've seen the issues with the curriculum. Governance issues, including violations of conflict of interest provisions and inadequate safeguards against nepotism. Just want to let you know what happened before you got here.
Thank you, Greg. The two remaining, are they speaking on CAT as well? Okay, we're going to have you wait as well because we're going to address those when we do the rest of the comments. Thank you. And at this time, we have an informational item. It's 3.1. It's our school bus road DO video. Enjoy.
For this one, we're going to turn it over to Lori Cisneros, who represented the board at this meeting, or at this event.
Yes, and I attended this just a few weeks ago. I put together just a little video about it, and I will show the video, and then I'll just say a couple things after that. Thank you. Hey, I'm here in Shafter, California at the bus rodeo. We're having a great time. I'm meeting bus drivers, superintendents, principals, teachers, parents out here, just people in support of these bus drivers. And they're awesome. We love you and we need you and you are important to us. And I just want to come out here and share my support with that. Have a great day.
I am a Casto Chapter 12 president. I work with Panama Buena Vista Union School District. I am the director of transportation.
This is Naftali Perez
Yes.
with the Casto Chapter 12, and he's here just running this whole thing. It's really fun. This is my first time here at the bus rodeo and meeting some amazing bus drivers and amazing people. Can you tell us how long you've been doing this and like what you do
Well,
here?
personally, I've been driving a bus for 26 years. I've been serving 2 years as our local chapter president. And yes, we love to promote school bus safety in the county and across the state. This is a good place where people and families can come out and support their family members as drivers. Participate in the course, which improves their skills, their driving skills, their backing skills, overall awareness of the school bus.
Yeah.
So it's a really great event that brings everybody together from the county and across the state.
This is really fun. We're in Shafter right now. And I mean, I never knew this was going on. And this is like, I'm glad to be here. Yeah.
We're making sure airplanes don't land on us.
There you go. Well, it's so nice to meet you. Thanks for having us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you
And
for coming out and supporting us.
thank you for everything you guys are doing. It means a lot.
The point of this competition is to bring out the best in drivers. We are transporting your children, our children, because I drive that bus, I said my kids are in it.
That's good.
And the responsibility is enormous. I've gotten a lot of anonymous notes, on my windshield from students like, hey, thank you so much. You've made my day. And, You know, so that makes you feel as if like the smallest impact, whether you say good morning or whether you even give them a little bit of discipline,
Yeah.
that you've contributed it to
Yeah.
having them have a good day in school.
Absolutely.
You know,
It's
which
huge.
is important. So
It's huge.
teachers, school bus drivers, you know, Board of Education, we all work together.
That's right.
I'm here with Luis Lopez, and he is the California champion from 2024. And he went on to nationals and got second place. So this guy, he's up there at the top, and I'm just really happy to meet you. And he's here supporting his crew with KCSOS and all the other bus drivers. It's like a big family here today. It's really fun to talk to people and hear their hearts about kids and you know how they really value their jobs and everything. So I just really appreciate you. Thank you for what you're doing, and good luck this year. We're rooting for you.
Well, I'm here with Bobby, and you're a trainer for bus drivers.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to her a minute ago, and she was saying that one of her big goals is to make sure that bus drivers continue to have their love for driving and their love for what they do for their job, because as soon as we lose that, if anybody loses their love for their job, it's super stressful, and you know, and it just takes away a lot. So that's awesome that you're here to promote that, to talk to people about how to keep that love going, and especially about the kids, right?
That's what it's all about, you know, like, and it's a true statement. Sometimes they are the only happy face that you see.
Yeah.
And it matters that they have at least that little bit of joy in their life, you know, because it might be all they get. That saying, oh, that's so cool, I didn't know that, you know, it really is like, somebody sees me.
That's awesome.
You know.
That's awesome. No, that's huge, and I appreciate you a lot. I really do. Thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you.
And for driving our kids, and especially, you know, encouraging other drivers too. We're glad you're here.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, this is Veronica. She's one of the bus drivers for Rosedale Union School District, and she just completed her course. And how did you do? Horrible. No, I did good. I think you did good. Yes, that's right. And you have a great smile on your face. And what did you have to do in the course? At the parallel park?
Parallel park and also alley. So you hit the obstacles. Show how to sport kids.
Right. Okay.
And then it's a mini series of things that we have to do every day.
What's your favorite part about being a bus driver?
Being with my kids. My kids.
Yes.
My babies.
Your babies. Yes, I love that.
Each kid that I have in my bus have 9 babies.
Yes.
If I have to give my life, I give it for them.
Oh.
Even sometimes
That makes me want to cry.
No, but even sometimes it's a challenge.
Yeah.
You know, when they come and give you a hug, or the ones they don't talk, they know that they trust you.
Well, I just want to say thank you for all that you're doing, and just that you're such an important part of our education system. And I really, you know, the kids see you first in the morning, and with your beautiful smile, I mean, it just starts the day right for them. It shows. So thank you.
Thank you
Yes.
so much.
And good job out there. I've just had an amazing time out here meeting bus drivers and superintendents and principals and family, and I can't tell you how much these bus drivers love kids, and they call them their kids. They call them my kids, you know, when they're talking about them, and I can tell that the care and love is genuine. It's really inspirational. A couple of bus drivers got me choked up just because they take their job so seriously, and they genuinely care. They want those kids to know every time they come on that bus that somebody loves them, and if they want them to know they're safe and that they're going to have a good day, and to just start with a smile. I mean, these bus drivers, they're incredible. You've got some amazing bus drivers taking care of our kids, and let's share the love, thank them, remind them how important their job is, and just to let them know that they're important in the whole education system. So I am here to do that today. I've met dozens of bus drivers and families. It's just been a great day.
So anyway, we'll see you next year.
Great job, Lori. Great job. Did you drive a bus?
I wanted to so bad. Trust me. But no, I didn't get to drive, but I got to meet a bunch of great people. So I just wanted to share that with you guys that, you know, sometimes they're the forgotten ones and they're really important. And the fact that they see our kids, the students first in the morning means a lot, that they start their day right. So I just wanted to give a shout out to all the school bus drivers out there in Kern County. We do appreciate you and you're important to us. And I know that the parents and students appreciate you, teachers, staff, so just wanted to extend that out. So thank you for letting me do that.
Well, we appreciate your willingness to be involved and to make that video. I'm sure everybody was very appreciative of you being there, and I myself appreciate the time you took to invest into the life of the bus drivers.
Thank you. And School Bus Driver Day, Appreciation Day is coming up. It's next week. And I forgot to write down the date. I think it's Monday, but we'll make sure. I don't think it's on our agenda, but
We did the
yes.
resolution last month.
So
Yeah.
thank a bus driver.
And we're now on informational item 3.2, curriculum and instruction support presentation. Dr. Mendenborough?
Thank you, and Laura, you did an excellent job with the video. Your competition back there at KE10. So. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Cole Sampson, who is our Chief Curriculum and Instruction Officer for KCSOS. He's going to discuss with you the different opportunities and learning trainings that we provide throughout the county in the areas of ELA and math. He touches all the districts that all of you represent, and so he's going to take some time to kind of discuss what he is doing and what the team is doing for the teachers and students here in Kern. So, cool, it's all yours.
Very good, but I do not have a clicker here. There's Well, good evening, board, Dr. Mendenborough, audience. Thank you for giving me a little bit of time tonight to discuss some of the opportunities that we provide to our local school districts. Here is my team, and so I have a phenomenal team by my side. So we have Lisa Vargas, she is the Director of Humanities and Multilingual Education. Kyle Atkins, the Director of our STEAM Expanded Learning Department, as well as Dr. Eddie Gonzalez is the Director of our California Educators Together project, which is a statewide initiative where we travel up and down the state training teachers to develop high-quality lessons. So I'm not going to talk about that in depth tonight, but just wanted you to know who fills out our curriculum and instruction team. In October, I presented to the board the most recent set of CAS data. So tonight, I just wanted to bring that back to your attention and just give you the overall reminders of where we were this last year. I reported to the board that we did see slight increases in ELA, but we're keeping the pace with the state of California. Still work to do, but we are seeing some growth. As well as a similar trend. We are, again, trending up, an uptick in math. In math, we are seeing a greater decrease as far as distance from standard, so we are closing that gap and keeping up with the state of California as well. But tonight I'm going to share with you what are we doing to help our districts close those gaps faster. I know that's been kind of a topic of conversation amongst the board, and it's come up a few times in the last several months. So I'm here to share that with you tonight. So. Our curriculum instruction team, I'm proud to say, is one of the largest curriculum instruction teams in the state of California as far as our supports. We support 41 of the Kern County districts and 5 charter schools, which are 88% of our LEAs in some capacity with instruction, including our very own KCS Alt Ed program. We have over 2,600 contracted support days directly on sites, which we are coaching or modeling or providing direct support to schools. We offer more than 75 centralized networks trainings or workshops out of our downtown facilities, and we'll be expanding those offerings to North Kern and East Kern next school year to give targeted supports to those areas. In addition, we run several conferences that are subject specific, including a digital learning conference with the Kern High School District, a literacy conference, a math conference, as well as a number of student curricular events through our team. So just to kind of give you a high-level overview of how we provide our support, we know that just showing up and giving a one-day PD is never enough. We know that districts and teachers, they need a lot more time to dive into the content. And so we really do a full support model where we'll start with the theory, provide the content, but then we follow that up with demonstration, modeling in classrooms, and then a lot of coaching, follow-up, and feedback from multiple engagements to help support implementation. And there's more linked research there for you to kind of describe some of that for a later date. So our Humanities and Multilingual Education team, I'm going to share with you a little bit about what they do as far as the offerings that they have, as well as the family community engagement aspects that we have through there. So our 4 major initiatives this year for this team. One, we're supporting the Jameson Center to build out an asynchronous structured literacy program. And the reason that we're doing this is because of the rotation, the transient of the teacher being there. We knew that we couldn't just train a teacher because they may be gone in future years. So we wanted to build a program that would outlast that transient nature of the teacher and that they could spread. So it's built directly for and specifically for Jameson, but will be able to be used by districts around the county in an asynchronous format. In addition, we offer a podcast. One specifically I want to note is our TK podcast, which now has statewide recognition and tied to the early ed division at CDE to support our work that we are doing with early education. We are also very well on our way to be a regional site for Project GLAD, and I'll explain a little more about that, as well as increasing the impact of kids in our community and leveraging kids to help districts monitor their progress of implementation around the supports that we're providing. So here you'll see just kind of a list, and now looking at it on this, the white on the green didn't do so well for the audience, so I'm sorry. But we have a number of supports that we provide both for integrated and designated ALD, thinking maps, Project GLAD, ELA and ELD frameworks, TK implementation, unpacking standards, really helping teachers be thoughtful about the ways that they integrate the language development standards into their core curriculums. Here on this slide, this is just a kind of a call out to the schools and the sites that we are working with that are connected to you all. And that would include Redwood, Central, North Kern, Jameson, and Realms, in which we are doing some intense training with them around designated ELD, as well as supporting ELA and ELD framework implementation and thinking maps. So we're doing a lot of work with them around that area.
Why Realms?
For Project GLAD, we are on our way, should be done by September, to be the northernmost hub region for Project GLAD in the state of California. And we will be certified to certify other teachers in both the pre-K to TK band, K-8, and Espanol, which will support our growing number of dual immersion programs in our county. We've already certified 125 teachers as of this school year. Well, looks like a slide is gone. In that, we also know that there needs to be a growing number of teachers to teach those programs, and I think that's that's the next thing. They moved it on me. Here is some images from our Language and Literacy Conference that we just held in February. It's our first inaugural conference. We had over 150 educators, pre-K through high school, show up to that. We are drawing teachers as far as Orange County to come to join us at that day. It was a really great day of learning. To support our dual language immersion programs, as I had mentioned, we have a growing number of districts that are either creating or expanding their current offerings, and because of that, we have a need now to increase the number of teachers that are certified to teach in those programs. So our multilingual team is the region lead to help make that happen. We have partnerships with San Luis Obispo County Office of Ed, Ventura County Office, Santa Barbara County Office of Ed, as well as Cal State Bakersfield, Channel Islands, and UC Santa Barbara, I'm forgetting one, Cal Poly, to help offer these programs to teachers in their areas. We have, so far this year, certified 25, or helped pay, so we pay for the classes and for the time of teachers going. We have increased 25 certifications this year just in Kern, but over the life of the grant, we'll have 125 new bilingual authorized teachers in Kern County because of the work of this grant, and 350 over the course of our region. To support TK, which also falls under this department, and that's a growing area of need. I'm really proud of this team. You'll see a picture right there of the block party. So in August, they delivered 285 sets of blocks to every TK classroom in this county, as well as offered a 2-day block party workshop where they invited teachers to bring the blocks we just delivered and come learn how to use them. And if teachers were not able to join us, especially our friends out in East Kern, we went to them And if that still didn't work, we have built an asynchronous course now that teachers all over our county can access and get to that content at any time. And that is through our TK implementation work. On the right side there, just kind of a highlight, we just finished a TK video series where we have gone up and down our county to catch excellence and bottle it up and show other TK teachers what this could look like in their classroom as they implement their programs. And so we have videos just to say, what should math look like? What should science look like? What does early literacy look like? Foundational literacy look like in TK classrooms to really help teachers learn from teachers. And so we're really, really excited about this work. But we also know that with the TK ratios going from 12 to 1 to 10 to 1 this next school year, there's a growing need for early ed TK teachers in our area as well. So we are partnered with a number of folks in our area to help increase the number of teachers to receive the necessary early childhood credits to teach those programs. Including this last year, we are supporting 11 kids from the Dream Center Foster Youth Program to help them go get their 6 units. We are paying them to take the classes, and we are paying for the classes. In addition, there was a nice donation from an outside vendor to give them all laptops so that they could engage in the content. So we're really doing a lot to try to grow our own through our programs. In addition to, we have 21 migrant parents participating, and they are going through the Spanish-speaking offering of early childhood to help grow those numbers as well. This is just a quick slide. Before COVID, back in its heyday, the Kern County Reading Project had hundreds of volunteers, and we are on multiple school sites. And this year, we are excited to say that we have relaunched that. We are not where we were before COVID, but we are now back up to 48 volunteers. We are centered one site in Panama and one site in Wasco right now, and we are working with kids, and they go in and volunteers go in and they will read to second grade students and support them with reading instruction from the community. And we look to continue to grow that opportunity. The next thing that I'd like to share with you is we are a region lead for the Literacy Coaches and Reading Specialist Grant. And through that, we're able to partner with a number of our districts that received funds to support literacy instruction. And so I'd like to play a video for you to show one engagement that we had. This particular video was shot in Beardsley School District about a family literacy lunch activity that we helped the district plan.
This is a community building event where we try to build connectedness, parent participation, where we invite them to come in to read books and to just build the tighter family connection here.
He ripped it from the ground on his way home at night. Jasper just couldn't get enough carrots.
Showing up for them, even if it's the simplest thing, is what makes them happy. With this school, I like how they involve the parents and how we're able to do things with the kids. Like reading, I think that's very important. Of course, we have to read to the kids so that way they're able to learn more and we're able to teach them. So when we go to the library, what kind of books do you want to read? And we always pick out creepy books.
Well, I think any activity that involves parents and gets parents involved in the school and our kids' education is important.
Think so? Who am I? I am an egret. Ready? Can you say egret? Egret.
They just are really welcoming, inviting families in. They like the parent participation, and it helps our kids.
Mama, I want.
We work in the logistics, setting it up, creating an environment where this is possible. So we're doing all the background work. We make sure that the principal is free so he can go and become part of these wonderful school events.
I appreciate their support. They have been great in providing support, providing some directions. They're the ones that brought the idea to my table for our district and supporting our different campuses to promote the connectedness and community partnership.
We started with Beardsley this time, but we are wanting to expand this program to other school districts. Students are loving the books, loving the time. They're seeing everyone come together, and they know it's for them. We're doing all of these for them to increase literacy and just to create a positive school environment.
And when the kids see that their parents are involved at school, I think school becomes more important to them too. They realize that it is something that they need to be a part of, they need to be here, And then, of course, all that just surrounding the entire community starts at school.
So that is just one way in which we engage to help support family engagement on school sites. And so that happens during lunchtime. So the families are showing up during lunch. We've helped them think about what books they should order, help them think about mobile book carts. Many of the sites now have book vending machines on their campus, so they get tokens for when their parents will show up to the events to encourage parent involvement so their kids can go then purchase books through book vending machines. This slide here kind of just lays out for you the level of engagement that we are seeing from families through this particular activity. For example, Beardsley Elementary, 81% of families are showing up for lunchtime reading activities with their students, and 89% at San Loren. So we have some really great turnout. The superintendents and the curriculum specialists are really loving this because we really take most of the lift off of them. Their job is to communicate out to families. We're also helping make phone calls to ensure people show up. And the last thing I'd like to share on the humanities multilingual side is just one of our many student events that we operate, but one of my favorite is the Oral Language Festival, which we have coming up very soon. This year we have 47 districts registered to participate. We have 75 schools, which is about 20 more than last year, participating, and over 250 students. And super excited for that. It's coming up in just a couple weeks. Now on to STEAM Expanded Learning, just to share a little bit about what our math team, how they support districts. So super excited to share with you in just a few minutes about the STEAM Yard. It's been a pet project for a couple years, and it's finally there and open, so we're going to talk to you about that. As well as though we're going to talk about though how we support math and science framework adoptions, especially now with the new California Math Framework out, and districts gearing up for their adoption in October. As well as the work that we do to support expanded learning, and as we're stretching into East Current. So our STEAM team, we support and integrate ourselves into district PLCs. We work with admin teams, district leadership. We really focus in and lean into student-centered engagement, and what does that look like in math classes. Our goal really is to help get more kids talking, more kids engaged in the math classroom through a student-centered approach.
Can you explain what PLCs are?
Yeah, professional learning communities.
Thank you.
Sorry, yeah. And then, so yes, we'll integrate ourselves into the professional learning communities. And at that point, we're really doing a lot of lesson study work with teachers. So they'll bring in, this is the standard that I'm focused on, we'll plan a lesson together, we'll go model that lesson, we'll come back, we'll debrief it, and then oftentimes we'll step into another classroom and deliver it again after what we just modified in that work together to really hone our craft and become expert teachers, right, through our peer collaboration. And so a lot of things that we're doing there, as well as supporting what does integrated ELD look like through that work, as we're supporting our math instructors, as well as helping them think through CAST and CAST prep, right? And so we don't think about it in the traditional sense if we're going to do test prep. We are preparing for the assessments all year round, but through a very methodical way, making sure that we know what the end of mind looks like on those assessments, and then we are helping them think through how does that instruction look to make sure that we are meeting the rigor and expectations of the standards. So here's one of our family events for the STEAM team. This was STEAM on the Streets. It was our first event. We held it in October of this year, right out here in the breezeway here. We had 25 different stations. We had almost 400 families show up. We took over the whole building, and we had all kinds of fun stuff. You'll see the little students right here. They were making their very own balloons down Broadway. Floats as they were going down and driving their little asynchronous cars down Broadway. We had a shadow and art collection down here with the lights, shadows and reflections, as well as when they got done and they stamped STEAM on their little tickets, they got to go upstairs to the top of the parking garage and pick a book from our book patch because it was around Halloween time. And so we had math and engineering books that those kids could go select, as well as backpacks and pumpkins to take home. So it was a lot of fun. In addition to that event, our STEAM team is very busy integrating ourselves into the community, and so we are partnered with the Bill Library. Last year, we did a wind tube exhibit. That was so popular, we were contacted by the Kern Libraries, and we are actually going to help them build those out in all the Kern Libraries this summer, and expand our offerings at the Bill Library to include shadow and light displays and sound and sensory exhibits. And that's all led by our STEAM team in partnership with the library. Now I'm going to play you another quick video. And this is a video of our STEAM camp. So over the last several years, we've expanded our offerings to support after-school programs and summer camps. And so this video is just to highlight some of that work to give you a glimpse of what our team is doing.
We started summer camps 4 years ago. We were a small group at CALM. We had $25,000 1 week, 12 mentors, and 30 kids, and had a great experience with it and knew that we can grow from there. Now we house our camps at 3 locations. We have CALM, we have the Kern County Museum, and we also have Buena Vista Natural History Museum.
Try that. One of the benefits of hosting STEAM camps within the museums, not only do we have that community partnership, it gives us an opportunity to take a look at the various exhibits and make them live. It becomes magnetic, it becomes electrifying, and for me, I want to be in an environment like this all the time.
You guys measure your height, or you guys measure the length of something, right? It's in inches or it's in centimeters.
We need to make sure that our lessons incorporate science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics, but each camp has something unique at the various museums. So we did a lot of play on what is here so that we can highlight through our lessons. So we focused on a lot of the natural history here at this museum. We do a lot of life science at CALM, and then at Kern County Museum, you have the architecture as well as art. We could not do any of this without our mentors.
And then a right turn. Awesome. For the littles, they're just having so much fun. I'm just excited to be there. But for me, it's like older kids, like seeing that spark in their eyes, they get it, right? They can actually like process something and like see the use of it in the real world. I think that's what drives me to do it. I think this program is awesome. I've continued to work here year round for the last like 2.5, 3 years. It helped me get to nail down what I want to do. Because I know I wanted to go into STEM, but I think we need more science teachers that want to be teachers. Right turn. 270, left turn.
When you are working camps like these, you're making it possible for students to know that anything is possible for them. So we're planting seeds, and it's never too early to plant those seeds, so that one day these students can say, I do want to pursue those STEM fields. And having mentors that come from the STEM fields, they can actually discuss that with the students and have those conversations. It makes it real, it makes it achievable.
It's not every day that they get to absorb all of this. They're excited to tell their family members and other students around campus. It's a pretty awesome experience to be here the whole week. It's a very valuable opportunity they are getting.
It's the proper programming, it's completely tailored to their interest. They're only spending about 30 minutes per activity. The content is really at their level and super interesting, as well as that opportunity for full engagement and participation through the hands-on experience. It's summer, we do have a mission to teach students some content, but we also aim to really give the students some fun and that engaging experience, potentially with maybe some things that they've never experienced before back in the regular classroom.
So through our camps, we've really grown them over the last several years. We're operating 130 days a year of after-school camps across 3 sites now, in addition to 6 weeks in the summer. So over this summer, it starts June 2nd to July 8th. We'll have 33 days. We'll have almost 4,000 students participating in our summer camps. Most of those are full days. You got to see and highlight some of the mentors, amazing mentors that we're working with. We have over 100 of them now that are signed up to support our program. All of these students are STEM majors at either Bakersfield College or Cal State Bakersfield. Many of them were pursuing other degrees like field biology or chemistry, and because they've been connected to our programs, now they're starting to consider education as it may be an alternative career path for them. So we're trying to recruit and find the teachers of tomorrow through some of the work that we're doing here. So we operate at the Kern County Museum, CALM, the Buena Vista Natural History Museum, and the STEAM Yard, which I will share in just a moment, and as well as this summer we have a 4-week camp with Mojave Unified, really working to grow our efforts in East Kern. And a 3-week partnership with Kurt Williams and the Dream Center to support foster youth. And then I know that I am taking quite a bit of time here, so I am going to save this video for another time, but just so you guys all know, the STEAM Yard is open. We welcome you board to please come by and work through Dr. Menderbrew to come take a tour of it sometime. It really is a state-of-the-art facility. It used to be the the learning center. People would go in, they would use their die cuts, and they would make things for their walls, and so that building has been relocated, and it is now the STEAM Yard. It is an awesome facility. I strongly encourage you to come check it out or watch the video at a later time to get that. So I will skip that just because of time here. But what we're hoping to do through here is offer field trips for school sites. And so we will be operating Tuesday through Thursday of next year for field trips, as well as after-school camps Monday through Friday. In addition, we'll be training teachers to utilize the equipment in that lab, and we'll be building off of our previous STEAM for Current opportunities. We're taking go kits for teachers to allow them to check out 3D printers, robots, drones after they've been trained, so they can take these awesome opportunities back to their school sites and implement them with support. And all that is thank you to a partnership with Chevron. The last couple things I wanted to just share with you on the STEAM side is that we host annually, in partnership with the California Math Council, a math conference. We have more than 600 educators attend this conference annually with nationally recognized speakers, and so there are some photos from that. It's a really great event, a lot of awesome learning that happens there. We just had this past weekend on April 5th, our first inaugural Ignite Her conference. And so it was a conference for 4th through 8th grade female students, really trying to encourage them to pursue the STEAM field. So we had STEAM experts come out, talk to students, as well as they engaged in a number of activities, and this was held at Bakersfield College this past weekend. So a really great event. And the last thing that I'd like to share tonight is about our STEM Olympiad, which is coming up on May 3rd. We have over 1,000 kids, which now breaks a record. We are higher than we were even before COVID, where kids are coming and engaging all kinds of math and engineering type activities in a friendly competition with other districts. And that is all I have for you. Any questions?
Any questions or comments from the board?
Where can we find, is this on the website where we can find the dates and locations of these events if
Yes.
we wanted to stop by?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yep. So it's under the student event tab on the website.
Student event, okay,
Yes,
thank
yep,
you.
Absolutely.
But then we will be, for 25, 26, Mary and I were talking, we will be getting for the board all events for you for 25, 26, so you can just plan ahead. You don't have to go search for it.
Thank you.
I do have one question since I was a social worker. How do you choose 11 foster youth? How did you do that?
It was application. So all of those that applied were accepted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was those that applied, so they worked with Kurt and the Dream Center, and those were the students that were interested in pursuing, because they have to want to pursue early childhood, and there were 11 of them.
All right, thank you for answering that. That's great information.
Yeah.
Thank you for all your information.
Of course. Thank you.
We are now on item 4.1, the consent agenda. Do you have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the graduation diplomas.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? Any opposed? So ordered, thank you. Now we're on the general business, 4.2, and then we come to 4.21. That's our notice of violation for the Central Academy of Arts and Technology Charter School. At this time, did you pick who you want to, we're not going to, are we going to do the presentation first, or no? Both. Okay, we're going to do the public comment first, and then we'll do the presentation. So you have 30 minutes.
Normally, they just go in order if they want to pass to somebody else.
Do you want to go in order, or you can pass to somebody else if you're going to replicate something that somebody else is going to say?
Our first two speakers will be Sandy Coleman and Natasha Mitchell.
Huh? Do you want coffee? Go get some. You can always listen. Go get it.
Can we have the first speaker? Otherwise, we'll have to go to the next one. Sorry. No, we're just calling up each speaker. They'll have 2 minutes if they want to
Yeah,
pass.
if when your names come on up, or pass.
Hi. Good evening, board trustees and everyone here this evening. As you can see, I have some little ones here. And with complete respect and love, I just wanted to make a recommendation. Next time we have a school meeting where parents have to attend, if we could move any comments to the front, because it's almost my kids' bedtime. And I work all day, and then I came here. We skipped dinner to be here to show support for our lovely school. And I had to explain to the kids what was going on. And I'm very open with them because they know what mommy does for work. And they asked, are we going on our field trip this week? Or is the school getting closed down? And what did I say? We're going on our field trip this week. But mommy has to go talk so that our school doesn't get shut down next year. Now, most of you don't know me because I have 4 kids and I'm always at home, triplets and a 4-year-old here. So 3 attend CAT in 1st grade. And just for the record, I'm a California credentialed teacher. I teach formerly K through 12 and ELA. I'm also a multi-award winning author of the book Wake Sleepy One, which was recognized by the California Readers Association, California Library Association, and the Library of Congress. In addition to that, I'm a grant writer and a compliance expert. And I've raised about $54 million for the region. I have a lot of comments which I'll make in writing.
Your time is up, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, trustees. My name is Natasha Mitchell. I'm a proud parent of a CAT student. I am also an educator. I'm a sign language interpreter and a deaf and hard of hearing students advocate. I am here to share a very personal story of our son's transformation since joining CAT. Within the 2nd week, he came home beaming after an interview after interviewing the principal for a project on their campus YouTube channel. It may seem like a small moment, but for us it was huge. You see, before CAT, our son was beginning to withdraw, and he typically a student full of light and engagement was beginning to disengage, less socializing, and slowly losing confidence. At CAT, that has changed. He found peers who celebrate who he is, teachers who see his potential, and staff who create a safe space and welcoming space for him to grow. Now he is not just participating in class, he's thriving. This is more than a school. It is a place where our son is seen, he is heard, and he is inspired. We as parents have also felt more connected than ever as CAT attendees. Actively invites us to the learning process. That matters. According to the National Education Association of Students, involved parents are more likely to have higher grades, better attendance, and stronger social skills. And we've experienced that firsthand. Before CAT, our son's previous school campus was closed, and there was little opportunities for parents to be involved on campus. Even getting a meeting with administration was a struggle, and that was when we needed to speak with them regarding serious issues like campus safety. Here at CAT, our concerns are met with open doors and open hearts. As local business owners, we also deeply value how CAT integrates the community into the classroom. When entrepreneurs and business leaders speak to students, they don't just share knowledge, they spark ideas, confidence, and ambition. These are the kinds of role models who show our kids what's possible in school and in life. CAT isn't just educating students, it's building people up, families, and futures. It's creating an environment where learning goes beyond textbooks, where creativity and independence are just as important as test scores. Our son has found a place where he can be himself.
Thank you, ma'am.
He can succeed, and we urge you not to take that away.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next three, is this Sandy Coleman?
Good evening, trustees. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. First up, I want to say I never thought I'd be in a conference room where I used to proctor exams for human resources back in the day, in the mid-2000s, but I'm here for another reason today. I just want to say that as a grandmother who has had guardianship of 2 granddaughters for over 12 years, the granddaughter that attends CAT was the same elementary school from kindergarten to 6th grade prior to attending CAT. She is now a 7th grader. While attending elementary, she had been in speech all 7 years and 2 years prior to that, so 3 to 12 years old. She was released from an IEP since 6th grade. When I heard about this school last year, I knew that it would be a great opportunity for her to excel in a more tight-knit middle school environment. She is naturally artistic and loves to sketch and draw. She wants to be a fashion designer when she is older and desires to attend college for fashion design. CAT is very necessary for most of the children and grandchildren simply because of the hands-on for each student when needed, because of the opportunity given for more one-on-one interaction when needed. Due to the technology being so important in society, especially with the young people today, this school is helping facilitate more tech-savvy adults for the future. When I heard yesterday about the possibility that the school was shut down, my heart dropped. My mind instantly thought, what am I going to do? There isn't one middle school that I feel fit for her because my concerns is that she will lose focus and lose her voice as she is gained since attending CAT. She's quiet and soft-spoken and feels understood simply because of the engagement she receives from teachers and staff daily. At CAT, they really understand the value of learning styles and the help and has helped my grandchildren thrive. Well, I can't finish, but anyway, I'm a grandmother and I need her to stay. Please don't close our school, please.
Thank you.
Our next three speakers will be Dakota Cameron, Saffron Villarreal, and Irene Montoya.
And again, if you want to pass, please say so.
Good evening, board members. My name is Dakota Cameron. My son Finnegan goes to CAT. He was in the public school system previously. He was diagnosed with level 2 autism and really struggled in the public school system. He was in special education classes. They asked us to move him into mainstream. And every single day, Monday through Friday, every day we sent him to school, we got a call. You need to come pick Finn up. You need to come pick him up. We need to tell you what he did. And every day, my son hated getting up to go to school. He hated getting up to go to school. He'd tell me at 5, 6 years old, Daddy, I hate school. I don't want to be there. I'm always bad. They say I'm always bad. He got into CAT, I apologize. He got into CAT and it was a little bit of a learning curve for him, but he's on an IEP, they were very understanding, they made accommodations for him. And my son is coming to tell me now, Dad, my teacher told me she was so proud of me for doing this. He's coming to home and he's wanting to read to me. He's quizzing me on math problems on the way home from school. Just the way that I've watched him grow and expand this last year at the school has been wonderful. And I would hate for him not to be able to go there next year. We got to recently take his sister there for an event they were doing. His sister should be starting TK next year. And she's currently set up to go there as well. And he was so proud to walk her around the school and show her his classroom and show him all of his stuff. He's engaging more with his peers. He comes home and tells me about his friends, which he didn't have before. And I apologize, got a little emotional there. I'm just thinking about him. No, I'm really proud of what he's accomplished there. I'm really proud of his teacher and the administration there, the understanding and the care that they put specifically into my son, and being able to help him develop and grow and learn what he's grown and learn what he's learned there. So I'd really love him to be able to go there next year too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, trustees. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm a parent at the Central Academy of Arts and Technology, and I'm also the track coach there. And I'm here to show my support for this wonderful charter school, which allows for my child to have a tuition-free alternative. This charter school has smaller class sizes, offers more flexibility in its curriculum, and with its focus on arts and technology, my daughter is thriving there. I was scared to put her in a new school. I had her in a homeschool resource, which was amazing. Yet when they raised their tuition, I could no longer afford to keep her there. I was scared to put her in this school, yet she is thriving there. She is naturally artistic, and she has found a good group of friends. And I am really excited to allow that this school allows parents to have a choice in their children's education. And in closing, I would also like to add that the school has been a wonderful asset to the downtown Bakersfield community. Thank you so much for your time.
Good evening, trustees. My name is Irene Montoya, and I'm the Director of Operations at Central Academy of Arts and Technology, or at least what we like to call CAT. I'm here to share some impact of our school is making on students, families, and the broader community. When we opened CAT, our mission was clear: to create a safe, inclusive, innovative environment where students can lead with creativity, confidence, and compassion. Our leadership team has worked tirelessly to bring this vision alive, building trust with families, prioritizing wellness and achievement, and creating a school culture where every student is seen and supported, and it's working. Families who once felt underserved now feel at home with us. Our students are thriving, from budding scientists to performers finding their voice, and the community is responding. We have received over 300 applications for next school year. It's a clear sign that families trust CAT and believe in what we're building. To put that into perspective, I led enrollment at Grow Academy Shafter for 7 years. In the 7 years that I was there, never once did we hold a lottery when we were doing enrollment. After the first year in CAT, we're now prepping for lotteries in almost every grade for next year. So that speaks volumes for the momentum we are building and the connection we forge in our community. That is why it's so disheartening to learn the efforts of some KCSOS staff members to discredit the work. Without even raising concerns or reaching out to us directly, my team and I have always been open to collaboration, and to be blindsided by this recent notice is frustrating and frankly unfair. We ask KCSOS to stand behind one of its own core beliefs. The needs of all children come first. Our students and the families who have chosen us deserve that commitment. We remain committed to serving our students with integrity, and we hope this moment becomes an opportunity for more honest, respectful dialogue moving forward. Thank you.
Our next three speakers. I'm sorry.
Hold on just a second. If there are any other teachers that want to do the presentation on the information, that will be included in the presentation by the school, so we're going to hold off on that and let the parents speak, please.
The next three speakers are Christian Moline, Stephen Moffitt, Brandon Smith. Please state your name.
Good evening. My name is Christian Molaire. I work in the field of high-risk cardiac surgery here locally. More specifically, I'm an executive in over a team that manages the implantation and management of heart pumps for a large portion of Southern California. I bring this up because I was educated here in my pre-graduate education in Bakersfield. In fact, Mr. Davis was one of my teachers that I had, so it's kind of interesting to see him 20 years later. My son is in the 4th grade at CAT. Prior to his matriculation at CAT, he struggled to find acceptance. I'm a little biased, but he's quite brilliant. He couldn't find acceptance with his peers. He would struggle. He went to 3 local schools. This was reflected in his desire to attend school. He was stressed. He was unhappy. He did not want to go to school. He would, but he didn't do it. This showed in his grades. Since he has begun attending CAT, he has had a level of acceptance that he has not had before. He is seen. He is appreciated. He is a 4.0 right now. We're talking about a kid that was really struggling before to even make grades. He's a 4.0. Please do not take this school away from him. What they're doing is beyond special. I can't say it's for everyone, but for my son, they gave me my son back. They gave me the child that I knew was capable of being a 4.0 student, happy and filled with life, that no other school can give him. So please, for all of us here, allow us to have our children in a school where they can have this level of acceptance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi,
trustees. Thank you for letting us speak tonight. This is my daughter Annie. She's one of the CAT students, one of the CAT scholars. She was just elected secretary of her class, and so that's pretty exciting. I wanted to read a note that my wife wrote, and then a little bit of what I wrote in my 1 minute and 49 seconds that I have left. Also, I hope that the sons and daughters of the American Revolution can come and speak to the CAT students for many years to come. This is my wife's letter. My name is Ruth Moffett, and I'm a parent of 5 scholars at the Central Academy of Arts and Technology. I'm writing to inform you of the amazing and powerful education my students are experiencing in this new school. I'm a clinical nursing instructor at Bakersfield College, and my husband, that's me, is a 10-year teacher in the Fruitvale School District, and we are proudly choosing CAT for our children. My husband and I both have very high academic standards and goals for our children. CAT is meeting all of them. And exceeding all of these goals by providing for our children's many unique needs and by encouraging their gifts. Our children have participated in a variety of school options in the Bakersfield area over the last 10 years. We chose to enroll our 5 youngest children at CAT in July of 2024 because of big promises from the CAT team, and the school has delivered on every single one. Our children are thriving academically, socially, and behaviorally in this setting, and we are eager for that trend to continue. They are enrolled for next school year along with many friends and others who are excited about the CAT Public Charter School and what it has to offer. I implore you to do everything in your power to ensure that CAT remains a public school option for the students of Bakersfield. And then a short bit from mine as well. The Central Academy of Arts and Technology has my full support and confidence as a parent and a skilled educator. I hate even considering the idea that it might not exist to meet my own children's needs for the next 9 years until my youngest son has earned his high school diploma. The Academy is good for my children, good for others' children, and good for the community of Bakersfield. It provides a special experience that its students have benefited from en masse. Parents are overwhelmingly happy with the school. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Brandon Smith.
So is that a pass? Okay.
Tara Bratcher.
Good evening, trustees. My name is Tara Bratcher, and I'm the parent of 3 students at CAT. I am deeply invested in the future of this school. I am actively involved in every aspect of my children's education at CAT. Parent engagement here is incredible. We were able to organize this with 24 hours notice. We just found out about this yesterday, and we were able to change our schedules around and be here. We're all so deeply invested in this. And while each family here has a different reason for choosing CAT, one thing we can all agree on is each student deserves to be seen, heard, understood, and loved. There is no question that CAT provides that to our family and every other family here. My kids feel safe at school. They're excited to go to school each day. They are excited to tell us what they are learning, and most importantly, they are excelling at it. What CAT is doing is different, and it works. I feel confident that we can overcome any challenges we face with your support. We ask that you please motion to table the item and instruct KCSOS staff to collaborate with us before taking action. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Next 3 speakers will be Naomi Melendez, Kim Kartner, and Elizabeth Palencia.
Hi, I am Naomi. I am in 1st grade at CAT. I am 7. We don't want you to close our school. 96% of students love it here, and we have kind teachers. Some of the things I love about my school are my friends and the teachers who are there for the students and how much they care. I would feel sad, and 96% of students would feel sad too. I want to keep our school. I work so hard, and my mom worked so hard to find this school. I would have no school if there wasn't this school. I would have to be homeschooled. I want to keep this school forever. This school is home, and I will stand with Kat.
Okay, well, anyway, members of the board, Superintendent Mendaburu, good evening. My name is Kim Cartnan, and I come to you as a concerned parent and grandparent, uneasy about the CAT Charter's ability to provide adequate services to students with disabilities. I have several children and grandchildren. Upon review of their petition, the county superintendent's office discovered that the charter petition's description of special education program was labeled as not binding, which suggests a lack of concrete plans. Furthermore, the petition failed to describe how services would be delivered to high school students, especially those who require post-grad planning. This lack of planning and clarity raises serious concerns about whether CAT could continue to successfully implement a legally compliant and equitable special education program. And I'm certain we all want our students to succeed, and we've heard, great things with the families here, but I urge you to seriously consider these deficiencies. Thank you.
Thank you. Merle, are you keeping track on how many we have?
Ways to go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Elizabeth Palencia, and I'm here to discuss concerns about CAT's financial viability based on the findings provided by the Kern County Superintendent of Schools. Their initial budget documents indicated significant disparities, including unrealistic enrollment projections, insufficient cash flow for the first 2 years, and low estimates for books, supplies, and other essential resources. These financial inconsistencies raise serious doubts about CAT's ability to sustain operations and provide quality education to students. I respectfully urge the board to review the financial findings carefully and ensure that CAT can continue to meet its operational needs as a sound educational option for the children of Bakersfield. Thank you.
Thank you.
We've heard from 13 speakers.
Okay, we have about 10 more minutes.
Okay. Next three will be Jesse Trevino, Janelle Gonzalez, and Paisley Koppel.
I'm Jessie Trevino. I want to keep my soup because I love learning and I love my class and it helps me teach more.
Thank
Okay. Hi. I don't know how to word this. Hi, my name's Janelle Gonzalez. I'm Jesse's mom. She is a kindergartner at CAT. I want to take a moment to truly highlight the incredible growth my daughter Jessie has experienced since becoming a student at CAT. In just 7 months, her literacy has improved by 40% and her math skills have shown remarkable progress as well. What's even more inspiring is how excited Jessie is about her learning journey. She often comes home eager to share what she's learned, teaching her younger siblings with joy and enthusiasm. We hope her siblings will follow in her footsteps and become a proud CAT scholar. Jessie's development hasn't only been academic. Her personality has blossomed as well. She walks into a positive, encouraging environment every single day and has transformed her into a confident, kind, and motivated young girl. She is becoming a role model not only for her siblings, but future students. If CAT has brought this kind of transformation to my 6-year-old daughter in just a short 7 months, imagine the beautiful possibilities for so many more students in Bakersfield. CAT is more than just a school. It's a place to grow, to belong, and call home. Thank you.
Thank you.
Paisley.
Good evening, trustees. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Paisley, and I'm an 8th grade student at the Central Academy of Arts and Technology. And I'm here to respectfully ask you to please keep our school open, because it has truly changed my life. Before I came to CAT, I was struggling a lot. My grades were mostly Fs, and I didn't feel motivated or confident about school. But since I've been here, my grades have gone up to A's and B's, and my test scores have improved significantly. For the first time, I feel proud of what I'm doing in school and like I have a bright future ahead of me. One of the biggest reasons for that is the amazing people at CAT. Our principal, Miss Kendrick, is not only a strong leader, she's also really fun and always brings positive energy to our school. She makes us feel like we matter. My teacher, Miss Rodriguez, keeps us engaged every day. She explains things clearly, makes learning fun, and always encourages us to do our best. Her classes help me enjoy learning again. As a charter school, CAT gives students a second chance to succeed in a different kind of environment, one that really works for us. The smaller class sizes, the focus on arts and technology, and the supportive staff all help us grow. And not just in class, but in life. Please don't take that away from us. CAT is helping so many students like me build a better futures, and we hope it can continue to do that for many more. Thank you so much for your time and listening to what I had to say.
Thank you.
Our next three speakers will be Karina Mendoza, Brandon Butler, and Susan Pellerin.
Good evening, trustees. My name is Karina Mendoza, and I'm an instructional aide at Central Academy of Arts and Technology. I've had the opportunity to work in a few different
Ma'am,
schools.
I've already asked if you're employed there, that it would be the parents that would be able to speak.
My apologies.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening. I am a parent and an educator for the Kern High School District. I actually just want to start by thanking Mr. Sampson. I think he actually left already. Mr. Sampson is my professor from Point Loma. I'm a Kern County educated individual. So I went to CSUB, Point Loma, Fresno Pacific. I hold a master's degree in math education. So I'm a core subject person and a skeptic. And I'm supporting CAT. My kids go to CAT. They have definitely, I've had those moments where I wanted to find something. I wanted to find something that I could say like, well, maybe what I see, maybe they're missing a mark somewhere. My kids have made years of growth in their year at CAT. My children actually care to learn math that I love. And when my 8th grader tells me she wants to go to CAT instead of the school that I love, that I teach at, that is right in our neighborhood, and she wants to go to CAT, that means the world to me. That means everything to me. So as a skeptic, as an educator, as somebody who knows these systems, knows when PBIS is working, knows when interventions and supports are effective, and knows good curriculum and design, having students come home caring about the work, that's what we're in this job for. That's what we're in this line of work for. So I thank you guys for your time. I appreciate everybody. Notice how many educators are coming up here, how many credentialed teachers you have that are supporting this system. Please support us as we support our students. Thank you.
Thank you.
Susan?
Good evening. My name is Susan Pellerin. My granddaughter, Delilah, goes to CATS. Hearing everyone else's stories. I know my family's not alone in having special needs children, but hearing everyone else's stories really brings home the fact that we need CATS. I'm going to try to read what I put. Okay. I'm not a teacher, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a politician, I'm a grandmother. And I'm here tonight because my granddaughter goes to CATS and she has truly been changed. This school, the only charter school in Bakersfield that I know of, is not a failing school, it's a flourishing one. My granddaughter spent 7 years in traditional public schools, and while she got something, there's something still missing. She didn't light up and talk about school like she does now. She didn't feel, and she wasn't seen the way she deserves. But she is now. In the last year with CATS, I've watched her flourish mentally, physically, and emotionally. And as you can see, we're a very emotional family. And let me be clear, this is not a coincidence. It's the result of the people from CATS and what they're doing for these kids. Starting something new is never easy, but CATS is trying to do all the hard work and doing it well. The decision makers and the board, I'm sure there's something that we can do to work together. I'm not sure exactly what it is, why they're wanting to shut down CATS, but I'm sure there's something that we can do together to save the school and to save all the parents here and to save the kids, because it's really needed in this community. Thank you.
27 more.
We have how many more?
27.
Oh, well, we can take one more.
One more, okay. Bianca Tapia. Eduardo Hernandez.
Good evening, board members. My name is Eduardo Hernandez. I'm a Bakersfield native and a downtown business owner. I have two children that attend CAT. Both love the school and staff. My youngest son in kinder struggled with speech and behavior and has made a complete 180. My oldest daughter, 7th grade, recently started CAT and was welcomed by scholars and teachers with open arms and made her feel welcome. Not only do they now feel comfortable and confident in class, but CAT has a free after-school program for our children till 5:30, so my wife and I can finish our workday without any stress or worries. Please reconsider making your request on revoking our school and taking away an amazing environment and a safe space for our children in our downtown community. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming and speaking. I appreciate it. The stories are heartwarming, and we do listen to everyone. I wish we had time to listen to more. It sounds like a phenomenal experience for many of you, and I'm very glad to hear that. So we will take all that into consideration. Now we will move on to the presentation part of this.
Thank you. First off, I want to thank everyone for their comments this evening. It exactly emulates what CAT Charter, why the board approved the CAT Charter back in the day. It was for the programs and the academics that the students are now flourishing in. Our concern here tonight is to keep CAT open and to help them continue the wonderful programs that they're doing. But to do that, they have to be fiscally solvent. And that's the communication that probably has not been communicated out clearly, is the fact that they have fiscal mismanagement at this point in time. So I'm going to go through a couple of lists for the board to understand why we're at this point in time. Just so that the parents know, this motion tonight is not to close the CAT Charter. Rather, it is to notice a violation, meaning that CAT Charter, after continuous communication from the Kern County Superintendent of Schools office, has failed to meet certain criteria. So I'm going to go through that tonight for you so that you are all aware of it and the board has an understanding. The list that we're going to go through, the violations, all align with the Fiscal Crisis and Management Assistance Team list, which is FCMAT. Every school district, LEA in the state of California has to adhere to this list to ensure fiscal solvency for their district. CAT has an inadequate budget, item 1, inadequate budget development and adoption. CAT's budget relies heavily on ADA enrollment that is higher than reasonable based on historical enrollment. KCSOS issued a letter of concern to CAT on February 21st, 2025, and CAT has failed to address those concerns. Number 2, insufficient budget monitoring updates. CAT submitted a contradictory second interim report a few weeks ago, projecting a deficit spending greater than was projected in their first interim report. The two contradictions that indicate a lack of understanding and knowledge of the budget by both the board and management of CAT. Item 3, continued deficit spending. CAT reported deficit spending in the first interim report, and it increased 550% in their reported second interim report to the office. In January 2025, CAT implemented a hiring freeze and other measures to address their fiscal issues, but their deficit spending continues to grow to this day. There are variances in the revenues and expenditures that indicate the charter does not have the the idea of true financial position for this fiscal year. Fourth area, decreasing fund balance and net position of reserve economic uncertainty. CAP projected a negative fund balance, which means that the school year will not have sufficient dollars or revenues to meet their financial obligations to finish out the fiscal 24-25 year, meaning they don't have cash on hand to make payroll come April. Item 5, inadequate multi-year projections. CAT's multi-year projections are unreliable and based on unreasonable assumptions since the charter relies heavily on increased ADA numbers. Based on current enrollment numbers from CAT, they have reached approximately half of their initial ADA projections in which they opened the school on. Based on this information, Kern County Superintendent Schools Office has determined that their ADA assumptions for the next fiscal year are unreasonable and unlikely to materialize like it did this year. Item 6, weakness in leadership and stability. An analysis of CAT's board agendas and minutes show that CAT is not compliant with the Brown Act. CAT has failed to post board meeting minutes for multiple board meetings and has failed to post the board meeting agendas timely as required under government code. Not only does this assign a fiscal mismanagement, also a violation of government code, which this is an area that we have raised to them several times throughout the year. Those are the 6 items based on the FCMAT list that if any of those are a concern, then the district is considered insolvent. Additional issues that are going on with CAT is fiscal instability, as mentioned. They projected a deficit in they projected the deficit of their second interim budget by the 550% that was mentioned, based on based on expenditures from December 2024 to March 2025. That's how much increase they showed. Multi-year projections rely heavily on increased ADA, but it's unlikely to materialize. Talked about the Brown Act, failure to post board minutes as such. Communication, failure to provide information to KCSOS with reasonable period of time. Based on this, here's the CAT timeline of issues that was communicated between KCSOS and the CAT charter. July of 2024, CAT charter team sent several requests for information to the CEO, Joanna Kendrick, for information regarding charter's readiness to open. Never received it. August 13th, 2024, charter did not notify KCSOS of the decision to delay school opening. KCSOS sent requests for information on August 13th, 2014 about this decision. August 19th, 2024, CAT's first day of school, KCSOS requested enrollment numbers that were based on their MOU that they were agreed to provide to us, but no answer was provided to KCSOS. August 21st, letter to CAT addressing multiple MOU compliance issues regarding charter was ready for startup operations. Again, on August 21st, follow-up request to CAP for enrollment numbers. Again, no response for CAP. August 26th, request to CAP for enrollment numbers, no response for CAP. September 10th, letter of concern, first letter of concern was sent to CAT addressing enrollment numbers, facilities, curriculum, Brown Act compliance, and lack of communication with KCSOS. October 7th, KCSOS and CAT met to discuss the issues of the letter of concern. And then we sent the second letter of concern based on their enrollment, and that's when we found out that enrollment was half of what they told us that they had opened the school under, which automatically put them in a financial distress. We have met with them, discussed with them different ways that they could get out of this fiscal crisis, and they sent us finally a letter of fiscal stability 4 days after the deadline to turn that into the office, which did not really provide clear-cut information that was asked. Based on all this, we had no choice. As the board, when you approve the charter, any charter, you have 2 judiciary areas. One is to make sure that the MOU that they put in and the petition that they put in is followed and adhered to. And the second one is their fiscal solvency. If they are, and you don't put anything in place to ensure that they can continue open and provide the services for the students that you heard tonight that are so eloquently being done, then the Kern County Board of Education would be on the hook for the fiscal solvency of the charter. And no charter, all charters are to have their own fiscal solvency plan in place. It's not relied upon on the authorizer. So based on this, tonight, here's the timeline for the process in which we have to adhere to by government code. April 4th, we notified the CAP board the intent to issue the notice of violation, including all relevant documents, over 800 pages I have right here that had their petitions, their MOUs, and such. So the comment of not hearing it or understanding that for the first time is not accurate based on all the other meetings that we've had up to this point. April 8th, 2025, notice of violation is to be approved or pending approval from the Kern County Board of Education during this meeting. It was based on 3 areas. One is a violation failure to meet generally acceptable accounting principles and engage in fiscal mismanagement by administration of CAT. Evidence of violation, the letter of concern, CAT's budget, interim reports, etc., show that the violation is material and uncured. The reasonable period of time based on the approval, if you approve tonight the notice of violation, CAT charter will have to have 15 days to submit a remedy for this period of time, during this period of time, to see how they're going to turn their fiscal mismanagement around. April 23rd by 5 p.m., the remedy must be submitted to this office by CAT. At the May 15th board meeting, the County Board of Education will evaluate the response and supporting evidence provided by the charter, whether they have met, remedied the concerns that we raised, or if they have not. If CAT remedied the situation, then revocation is discontinued, and notice is given to CAT's board and continue monitoring as such. If CAT does not remedy the situation, then the County Board of Education continues with the revocation proceedings and issues notice of intent to revoke with date of public hearing to come in the June board meeting. At the June 10th board meeting, the County Board of Education would hold a public hearing concerning the revocation. So there is still time that CAT can turn this around. Our biggest concern is that the impact of not having a fiscally solvent charter is going to hurt and hinder not only the students that are attending CAT charter, which is what we're all here for, being advocates for children, is going to also hinder and disappoint the parents and the community in which supports the CAT charter. So at this time, I'm going to call up Jonathan Medina, the Assistant Superintendent of Fiscal Support, who's been analyzing and working with GROW and their financial company. GROW currently has, and he will explain a little more, all their finances are being handled by GROW, not GROW Charter, GROW Financial, and all of, basically they have a loan with them to continue operating their school. So at this time, Jonathan will explain why we had no choice but to get this notice of violation.
Good evening, board. So I've provided you with a packet that you all can follow along with me, because I'm going to be going into a lot of technical details. What I'd like to do is just run through each slide and then ask if you have any questions at that time, and I'll answer them all as you have them. Just kind of speaking. So on the first page after the title page of your packet, what I'm going to go through is really the role of KCSOS in terms of charter authorization and then the oversight. So the Kern County Board of Education, again, may authorize charter schools for operation. And the Kern County Board of Education may also renew or revoke previously authorized charters. Now, KCSOS is responsible for performing oversight of all Kern County Board of Education authorized charter schools. KCSOS also performs oversight based on the Education Code and the MOU between Kern County Board of Education and the authorized charters. So it's both those things that we're performing oversight based on. KCSOS distributes monthly apportionment payments and other funds or cash that are dispersed from the state or the county. Again, they flow to our office and then they flow right to CAT Charter. KCSOS performs other support services if requested, again, by the charters. This is something that we offer to all of our Kern County Board of Education authorized charters. Specifically for CAT, they approached our office indicating that they needed support with providing meals to their students, and so that is one contract that we engage with currently. We also support them in their technology services, so helping with their network operations. That's something that we already provide support and service to CAT for. Now, KCSOS can provide fiscal and programmatic guidance to support Kern County Board of Education charters, but again, that's if requested, because our role is not to step in and perform the work of the charters, but can support if that's requested.
Have they requested fiscal guidance?
To this date, I have not received an email requesting fiscal support or fiscal guidance. KCSOS, again, lastly, is required by Education Code to perform physical visits to Kern County Board of Education authorized charters. So again, that's really our role in all of this, both the Board of Education and KCSOS. Are there any questions on any of that? Okay, so I'm going to go to the next page.
We're going to talk about the physical visits that are listed. We have visited, yes? I mean, obviously you.
Correct. I did not perform the physical visits. Another one of the members of our team did. But we can answer any questions. I can ask her to come up if you need.
Yeah, just quickly, we have done some on-site visits.
Okay.
Okay. So the topic is fiscal mismanagement, and that is the primary reason that we're all here today. So KCSOS has determined that the charter has engaged in fiscal mismanagement. And to define fiscal mismanagement, that is the poor, improper, or negligent management of an organization's financial resources. So in order to determine this, KCSOS, again in my department, utilized FCMAT's indicators of risk and potential insolvency, again, as we performed our reviews. Now, this determination is supported by financial information provided to KCSOS from the charter and by their consultants. Again, the charter has a back office provider that performs their budgeting and creates all of their financial templates. And again, this is information received either directly from the charter or that back office accounting entity. And this determination is also supported by the worsening financial position that's been reported by the charter. Are there any questions on any of those? Okay. So I'll start by going into the evidence. And we'll start off by looking at the progression of the current year budget. So the charter petition served as the year one budget. It served as the year one budget, and you can see that revenues, again, were projected to be at 5.7 million and expenses at 5.6. So again, more revenue than expenses that year by about $80,000. Now we fast forward to first interim. That's the first mid-year look. You have actual expenses through October 31st. And as of that, we have a revision. We now have a 10 ADA because that came in much lower than what was originally anticipated. Revenue has decreased to 4.5 million as reported by the charter, and expenditures have also decreased, but they're at about 7 million. So again, that's the first dip where this charter is showing deficit spending by about $125,000. Now, when you look at ending fund balance, that's really in essence, really your end total balance of the funds and resources at your disposal. $165,000 is not a lot. It's very little considering they have about approximately $4.5 million budget. $100,000 is very little. And so when we see the deficit spending, that's really what triggered the initial letter of concern after first interim. Yes.
These numbers, do these come from the back, what do we call it? The back office accounting program, or are these your numbers that we find from our office?
These figures were taken by CAT management to the CAT Board of Trustees and approved.
Okay.
It's a formal approval of this budget.
So their board has seen this budget. They know this exists.
Correct.
Okay.
And if I may, this is based upon current enrollment?
This was based on, so the figures on the right are the ADA assumptions at the time. So the original charter petition said that LCFF revenue was going to be based on 370.5 ADA. That was revised downward to 199.41 ADA at first interim. So that's nearly halved. And that's what's driving that decrease in revenue. So that's through first interim. Now fast forward to second interim. We now have actuals through the end of January 31st. This is the second mid-year review. We've downgraded, or the charter downgraded revenue from $4.5 million now to 4.3, but you're seeing an uptick in expenditures from 4.7 million to about 5.1. That deficit spending has grown from not 125,000, but has ballooned to almost $700,000 deficit spending. If you look, they only had a beginning balance of 301,000, so that means total resources available to the charter in this current fiscal year, 24-25, are negative $394,000. And that's what triggered the second, this process of notice of violation, because negative ending fund balance means that the charter does not have sufficient resources to meet their obligations in this current year. That's 24-25. So that's it. Are there any questions about the current year budget? That's a progression from charter petition to now.
Could you explain, how do they spend more than they have? Are they using credit cards? I mean, I'm just asking because I don't understand, how do they spend? Where does it come from?
So these budgeted expenditures, they haven't spent to that limit yet. That's what they're projecting to spend through the end of the year. So they haven't spent all of those dollars yet, but that's what they're planning to spend.
So it's not gone technically yet,
Not yet.
but at this rate, you're saying it's going to be gone.
Correct. That is
Before.
that is the charter's operating plan. So their operating plan is to spend every bit of those dollars.
Are they in the plus right now?
Right now, I'll get into it later, but it's very
Okay.
difficult to understand exactly what their financial position is at this moment.
So
But
they're
I
going to
can
be
speak to it.
operating in the negative.
They are projecting to operate in the negative by the end of this year.
And that number is set for the year, right? Because that's what they agreed to use as far as their budget.
But the
Is that-
budgets can be revised. And
Okay.
again, through the letters of concern, we're giving them the opportunity to make material, we're requesting that they make material revisions so that they can, again, remain financially stable. Because right now, the budget that they submitted and approved is showing that they're going to operate in the negative.
Okay, thank you.
So the next bit of evidence on the next page is looking at the multi-year projections, because when we look at the financial sustainability of an organization, you're not only looking at the current year, it's whether they can sustain that success. So we'll look at 24-25, and again, this is based on first interim, and then I'll show you the progression to second interim so you can see the drastic change. But for first interim, the multi-year projection is showing LCFF revenue of about 2.8 million. That's in the red box that you see. And then the projection for next year, again, we understand they're planning to grow. Their charter petition shows they're planning to grow, so it's reasonable to see revenue go up because that's aligning with increased ADA assumptions. So increasing from 2.7 million to 4 million, and then in that second year from 4 million, again, to 4.9. But really what we're seeing is ADA is projected to increase year over year from 199.41 to 275, which again on its own is not entirely unreasonable, but by this time we had actual ADA figures, and that's at the P1 date. So that's actual attendance from July 1st all the way through December 31st, so essentially half a year. Actual ADA that was certified by the charter and reported to the CDE was 168. And again, all these revenue projections in 24-25 are based on 199 ADA. They're still short, and there's still time. There's another 6 months for them to try and close the gap, but that means there has to be a commensurate increase in enrollment and average daily attendance to meet 199. There's still a possibility that the charter may not reach 199 and that these revenue projections may not materialize even. So again, there's still a significant amount of risk in the budget.
And it has to reach the 199?
It has to reach 199 to reach the revenue that's been budgeted, $2.7 million.
Unless the budget's changed.
Correct, unless the budget and the assumptions are changed.
Okay.
Correct. So again, based on this, the letter of concern was issued because this is shortly after first interim, and really warned to project ADA more conservatively and reduce budgeted expenditures, because at this point, during first interim in the current year, they were projecting to deficit spend by $125,000, and ending fund balance is just dangerously thin. Are there any questions on this page? Okay, so on the page after, it just shows in more plain figures what the ADA assumptions were at first interim. In the following page, we're going to see the drastic changes that were made at second interim. So we're talking in a period of 3 months, revenue, again, at second interim for current year decreased to 2.4 million, but you're going to see the assumption for the ADA in next year increase so drastically that revenue increased by 121%. for LCFF revenue. That's acknowledging ADA projections going from 199 this current year all the way to 404 this next year. It's just, it's very difficult. So,
And the 199 wasn't being met.
not being met at all. We're at
We're
168.
still at 168.
Correct. And so that's why it's difficult to really
Project
stomach that and
far.
project it and have confidence in those projections. So at second interim, you'll see the massive increase in deficit spending, again, is now 700,000, and they have negative ending fund balance. And another alarming point is when you look at the ending fund balance for 25-26, it's only positive by $27,000. And that is with ADA assumed it's going to double at 400. If that ADA comes in at 2 less than what they're projecting, then 25-26 will also be negative, meaning that the charter will not have sufficient resources to meet its obligation in that year either.
Is that staying within that 3% threshold of reserves?
Negative ending fund balance means 0 reserves. Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And according to the MOU, does the ADA have to stay what they was in the MOU?
There are no requirements that ADA stay within certain parameters in the MOU, but again, we have to take each year and take a critical look at what's reasonable based on past history. And again, KCSOS, again, as we've determined that these great increases in ADA are unlikely to materialize. Based on projections that we had at the start of this year, it just isn't a good track record. So are there any questions on this multi-year projection for second interim?
I do remember in the fall when they opened, I believe, late. And what, again, I'm sure we just went over the numbers, but what again was their projection before they opened?
But before the school opened.
Before the school opened, we were getting numbers that it was going to be, because I remember X number of meals we were going to prepare.
So we had written confirmation that charter enrollment as of the month of May 2024 was 343.
Okay.
And as of CalPADS Day, so October 2024, that was down to 178. I
Okay,
believe.
and it opened even,
Likely even lower.
it
and
opened
continued to
late
increase.
as well, right? By
Yeah,
a
and
couple of weeks, a week?
And that's why, just so that
Okay.
you're aware of why we're not confident with the enrollment, I mean, we're hoping the enrollment would turn out that way.
Absolutely, yeah.
But because of the consistent comments that were, and guarantee that they had 350 or whatever the number was, that they were gonna open and they were ensured that they had them, and over time after time asking for the enrollment and not getting, that's when one of our visits occurred to the campus, was to actually get a head count of what was going on there. And that's when we came to find out through CalPADS that they only had 178. So that's why, although the numbers sound great, we're hard to have that because they did not conform with the enrollment once school opened at the beginning of this year.
Okay.
Thank you.
So moving on from the multi-year projections, again, the second page just provides the revised ADA assumptions. At second interim, you can see the drastic increases from, again, 189 to 404, then to 498. On the subsequent page, the additional evidence that we have, again, we've titled Unaligned Financial Data. So at the second interim reporting period, we're supposed to record and report actuals that have occurred from July 1st through this, January 31st of that same fiscal year. And the actuals that are reported in the first interim report should align with the charter's financial statement documents. And again, since we were in a very, again, our office during the course of the review, we were not entirely confident and we needed to do, again, our due diligence. So we requested the general ledger data from the back office provider so that we could see what is actually posted in the accounting records versus what is reported at second interim. And we found very large discrepancies between both of the data sets. So just for what you'll see is the column in green is what was reported at second interim, and the column in blue is what is actually in the accounting records. So revenues reported at second interim were $2.4 million. In the general ledger, they're actually only recorded as 2.3. So revenue was over-reported by $175,000. When you look at expenditures, $3.2 million in expenses is what was reported, but the general ledger showed 3.5, almost $3.6 million in expenses. So expenses were underreported by $300,000. And those two net together to a swing of just over $500,000, which is a material difference. That's between 8 and 9%, an eighth and a ninth of their entire budget. Again, and again, what this does is really create a lack of confidence by KCSOS in any financial data that's being reported by the charter. Again, just because the actuals differ, I mean, it completely changes the landscape of how the budget needs to be done.
What are the checks and balances to make sure that it's an actual good report?
That's what we pulled and did our due diligence, because at the end of the day, what's going to get audited is what's living in the general ledger. That's what's being provided to the independent financial auditors. And so by us requesting that and verifying, comparing to what's been prepared on essentially in an Excel document, that is our check and balance to make sure as an oversight agency that we're doing our due diligence to make sure that what's being reported is accurate, so that we can have confidence when we either concur or not concur with the assessment.
So there's an independent auditor.
At the end of the fiscal year.
That's right. So it's not reported yet.
Correct. This is supposed to be a mid-year, the second mid-year financial review by the organization. Correct. And we do that with Paul.
Well, I'm aware of that. I just want.
June 30th. I mean, essentially, our goal is to step in now and ask for them to fix so that at the end of the year, when the hard audit does come, there's a possibility that, okay,
Yes.
make it.
So then the next page, again, also in the theme of unaligned financial data. So what you have is a snapshot of the cash flow that was provided at second interim. So the second interim cash flow report shows a $2 million cash infusion in April of 2025. Now, the second interim budget does not project the $2 million inflow of funds to the charter, and it's not included in any other second interim budget document, okay, which is slightly alarming that you have financial documents that don't match, that don't have the same assumptions, because this should all fit together.
Can you explain that again?
Yes, so the cash flow manages when dollars are actually coming in and flowing out of an organization, but those total amounts should be budgeted. So you should see the inflows coming in on the organization's budget as a revenue or some other inflow in. There is no record of any inflow in on the budget.
Okay.
So do we have any of the particulars about this $2 million, rate of interest, things like that, repayment schedule?
We do not have any of that yet. I've requested it from the charter, but I have not received any other information other than they are working to secure and close a loan. But I don't have any other information other than that.
Okay, I may be putting the cart before the horse here, but if that should happen to come through, all right, and it's established that they're able to go on ahead and meet a repayment schedule while still continue to operate and maintain that 3% reserves, that I understand that's the real bottom line right there, is the 3% reserves, right?
Correct. That's the intent, is to fix the cash flow issue and fix the budget issue.
Mhm.
With a good budget, you can manage cash flow, but with the poor budget, all you're doing with infusing cash is, again, putting a mask on a pig, really. You've got to fix the budget issue, is the real thing, so.
Thank you.
Mhm. So again, the unaligned financial data here is really driving down the confidence that KCSOS has in the financial reporting by the charter. One thing, so if you look at that data, you'll see that with a cash flow infusion in April, the ending cash balance that the charter's reporting is $1.7 million. So if that cash flow does not come in, then that charter doesn't have enough cash to get through even the month of April, which we're in right now. And this is all based on the second interim report. This was due to our office March 15th, that was certified by the charter, went to the charter board, and was approved. So lastly, we have supporting evidence that is a lack of understanding of financial standing. So management presented the charter board with a second interim report that contained a negative ending fund balance. And as I mentioned earlier, negative ending fund balance means that the charter will not have sufficient resources to meet its financial obligations in the year. The charter board approved the second interim report with a positive budget certification. And a positive budget certification means that the charter does have sufficient resources to meet its financial obligations in the current year. So a positive certification and a negative ending fund balance are contradictory. You know, it indicates a lack of understanding of the financial standing. I mean, they're just completely opposite by definition. So when you pair that with the unaligned financial data, KCSOS can deduce that neither the charter management nor the board truly understands the financial position of the school. Do you have any questions on that?
And that $2 million is still out there in the ether.
It is unconfirmed. It is an assumption.
Okay.
At this point.
Thank you.
So the last page again, our recommendation. It's recommended that Kern County Board of Education approve the issuance of a formal notice of violation. And as Dr. Mendebrew mentioned, again, that's not the end of the road, but again, just another step in the process. One caveat I do need to add is that if Kern County Board of Education does not proceed with the formal notice of violation, then both Kern County Board of Education and KCSOS may be held liable for the debts and obligations of the charter, because that would, again, could be turned around that we did not fulfill our oversight obligations of the charter.
Is there any type of law that says that we would be obligated to pay those bills?
Yes, if we are not performing the duties of oversight, then yes, we can be found liable and will be responsible for any debt. So any deficit spending that the charter may have, any unpaid debt, would then fall to us. Again, if we're not taking active steps to ensure that we're trying to mitigate the issue.
And is that stated in the MOU anywhere?
I'm
Or
not
is that
sure if it's stated in the MOU, but it is.
It is
in
just a,
education code.
okay, thank you.
Okay, and that's what I have today, but I'll answer any questions that you might have.
This is certainly considered intervention, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Will we be hearing from administration from CAT, or not at this time, or?
Not at this meeting. Yeah, it would not be at this meeting.
Okay.
This is for your oversight to issue the notice of violation. They already received the letter last week, but this was not, like we mentioned earlier, not a surprise what path they were going down in regards to financial mismanagement. And so, what this meeting is for the board to approve the Kern County Superintendent Schools Office to issue the notice of violation, to put them on notice that they have to change what they're doing. At the next board meeting, that is when they would be able to come up, just like with other charters, when we have done similar situations, then at the next meeting, the charter will come and present how they were remedying the situation, what their next steps are gonna be, and everything, to allow you to have input back and forth with them.
Oh, good.
I would like to have them have a chance for, this is a notice of violation. I know it's a serious issue, but I think that they should have at least a few minutes to respond.
Sure. No, that's totally fine.
Okay. Who would be the main spokesperson?
Me, myself, and Joanna Kendrick. I'm David James. I'm the president of the board.
This is a serious situation. We would like to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We allowed parents to speak during public comments. We appreciate the opportunity to address you guys. I want to I'll let David speak, but I want to reiterate what President Little just said. This is a serious matter. This action tonight, just make no bones about it, if you take this action, it will stop our ability to execute our loan. There's underwriting involved in any private loan. As we all know, we bought a car, we bought a house, right? And a motion that shows that the board is taking steps to revoke the school's charter will prevent us from executing that funding. So at this moment, our board is taking responsible steps to work with funders to secure a loan that takes us through this year and into the next. We do not negatively certify, because negative certification means we don't have the money, we don't have a plan to get the money, and we're not fiscally solvent going into the next year as well. Our enrollment numbers are not fake. I could go into all of the issues that happened last year. Everything's changed this year. I think we kind of spelled that out to you. But this action isn't to be taken lightly. This is not a notice to notify us to give us a minute to rectify these things. We're willing and able to come to the table with Jonathan Medina and discuss these discrepancies, or bring our back office provider who does a lot of this work with us and for us. We haven't had that opportunity. We turned in our plan for fiscal solvency. We didn't hear anything, and then we got this notice. So between saying we think there's a problem, give us a plan to rectify, we said, okay, here's a plan to rectify, albeit it was a couple of days late. We turned it in after we had our finance committee meeting. After that, we didn't hear from him. We just got this. And so to us, that feels like a leap. We believe that communication means dialogue. We'd love to dialogue with him. We'd love to bring our back office partner to the table to be part of that dialogue. But to take this leap, just to be clear, this will tie our hands and make it very challenging for the charter school to meet these obligations. At this moment, there are things in motion that allow us to end the year with positive fund balance and have carryover into next year to be solvent until we get into our payment schedule for next year.
Ms. Kendrick, if I may, according to the chronology here, February 21st, Charter was made aware of KCSOS's concern regarding the fiscal condition of the charter. March 23rd, 2025, deadline to submit the corrective action plan to KCSOS, but failed to submit a timely response. It does sound to me, ma'am, like you did have adequate time to go ahead and address these, and your statement just a few minutes ago saying that you didn't have time to address this. I'm curious, what happened?
So in August, we reached out to Grow Capital and signed a master credit agreement for $5.4 million, up to $5.4 million. In that master credit agreement, there are stops. We engaged it early on. We paid that sum back in the first half of the year. We came into the second half of the year. We provided the second interim, which is part of the documentation they need to start preparing their underwriting. We have then since revised those numbers because, frankly, I don't think they're correct, and we uncovered several inconsistencies between what was the original submission and where we believe we are going to end, which will be less than $400,000 in deficit. We continue to have those conversations. We will probably see in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll see our final credit agreement from them. And at that point, we'll know interest rate, term, et cetera. That loan is going to be issued this year, pay for our deficit, and then we'll have additional stage gates throughout the year through October to pay what we believe will be the state's deferment of our funds until we do get funding in October.
To address your specific question about not me saying we haven't had a chance to dialogue, right? So we got the letter of concern, which basically directed us create a fiscal sustainability plan. Tell us what measures are you taking to make sure that your deficit doesn't keep increasing and being fiscally responsible. We completed that. We sent it to KCSOS on the 28th. We were delinquent by a few days. They requested it be done by the 23rd. Part of that was that we had a finance committee that we were trying to get together. Part of that was us just being like, not realizing that the 23rd was the date. We, in our minds, were like, oh, it's the end of the month. That's on us. But a few days late, I think, doesn't mean that we didn't respond. It wasn't a statutory deadline that we missed. It was a deadline that they gave us, which we respect, and we did our best to meet, but we were a few days late. After we turned that in to Mr. Medina, we didn't get a response back like, we think the plan's inadequate, please tell us more about this. We understand, that you're doing these things, but tell us what this looks like. We instead got this notice, which my hope would be that if our authorizers, a week later, we got this, yeah. That our authorizer would come to the table and dialogue with us. I think that's just my only request. we're not trying to hide something, we're not trying to do something nefarious here. I could talk to you more about the beginning of the year and some of the things Dr. Mendebrough said, some of the things Jonathan said. I would disagree with them strongly. There's a lot more to those some of the statements that were made here tonight. But the fact of the matter is, we've been trying to rally this budget all year. The board has been responsible. They've been working through multiple plans. And we would just have appreciated the opportunity to dialogue about this and to answer some of these questions that now turned into us being here tonight before it got to this point. Because I really believe if we would have had the opportunity to dialogue with Jonathan, bring EdTech into the conversation, bring our finance committee into the conversation, that we wouldn't be here, that we would have an understanding of the steps the school is taking and our financing plan moving forward.
So after you received the notice in February, February 21st, I believe, is the date, our role is that we will provide that guidance, I believe, and have that conversation should you request it. And so I do feel that there's a very valid point here in that you were given, a letter of understanding, and that maybe should have been the time for CAT to reach out to. And we heard nothing until the 28th of March, which was after we had requested to hear something. So I guess I would just question that, because I would feel very certain that KCSOS would want to come to the table and have those discussions. But we also have oversight over several other charters and what's happening there. So I would assume that some of that was, let's have a conversation. Here's the letter that's come to you, and we can choose to respond. So, and if you feel differently by that, by all means, please let me know.
So, for example, when we had the first letter of concern, we met with the staff. Within 30 days, we had resolved all but one issue, and that one issue required the city, Bakersfield Building Department to be involved, and that only just got resolved in the last 30 days.
And is that the letter from February, or are
No,
we
that was
talking
the
like
letter
in
September.
October, September, October?
So that shows that, we do take these communications very seriously. We do address these issues. We submitted the budget. It takes some time to prepare a budget. This is out of sync when the budgets are due. So our back office wasn't in line to provide that service at that time. So it took us a few days to get everybody aligned, get the budget going, get everything in place. So until the budget comes out, when it didn't come out to the kind of the end of that process, there was no opportunity to even have an engagement of any sort because we didn't have factual information to really work on this second interim. So
I think I would just say that when we submitted the financial sustainability plan, we were like, okay, these are our thoughts. This is what we're doing. They'll let us, they'll let us know if they have questions. This was my thinking. I thought it was pretty clear. I thought it aligned with, what we were doing as a finance committee. If I would have thought at that moment that it was going to they were going to take that and escalate it, I absolutely would have reached out. Our thinking was, okay, here's our best thinking. Here's us telling you what we're doing. And then we also said, because we're in the middle of this financing hustle, in 60 days we're going to give you more information. Knowing that, if I was Jonathan Medina, I'd be like, okay, tell me the terms of this financing. Tell me, more about this, which we fully intend on doing when it comes through.
So on this loan, you didn't give Mr. Medina the outline of the loan that this is the people we're talking to? Can you give us another 60 days? We're looking at this 2 million coming in. This is kind of what we're doing. Did he have an outline of that?
We did not give him more of an outline than we're working with our partners. The one partner, he knows that we work with is Growth Capital. There's a couple of other partners. There's one other partner that we're talking to that does similar work to Grow, but different rates. We did not provide him with the specifics because we don't have them until we have a loan agreement in our hands.
But you could have communicated, hey, I'm reaching out to so-and-so, I'm reaching out to
I
so-and-so.
believe that we did make
Okay.
that clear in our plan, but if it could have been made clearer, then, it would have been happy to.
I'm still kind of stuck on the idea, you used the word statutory deadline for the March 23rd. What is it about a March 23rd deadline, not having the word statutory in it, makes it any less important?
I don't mean that it's not important, I just mean that it's like we missed like a filing deadline. It was a deadline that was given to us by the Kern County Superintendent of Schools. We did everything, we tried to meet the deadline, we missed it by a few days, we acknowledge that.
But no communication was put forth saying we're behind, we'll get back to you.
No, that is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Thank you. Anything else from the board?
I got a question. How is a loan going to fix your budget issues?
So,
I mean, it seems like some of these forecasts are unrealistic. That's my concern.
so right now we have how many applications?
Are you mean current forecast or like the multi-year budget?
Multi-year budget.
Multi-year budget, yeah. I understand that concern as well. However, we're in the end of open enrollment. We have over 400 applications in. I think we brought the binders to be like, this is real. This year is very different than the previous year, where we've had this great enrollment. We had 3 big challenges leading up to opening. We made a change in facility at the last minute. We had a delay opening. We turned over leadership. We lost our founding principal at that time. Those 3 things were big hits to us. We also didn't have the same systems in place. Our student information system wasn't up and running till late. That was like a result of losing our principal. So we didn't have families locked in the same way that we can this year. This year, we have a strong recruitment plan. We're working with Grow Schools to continue recruitment. So like, we're not resting on our laurels right now. I think they're called Grow Schools now. Yeah, but not Grow the Charter School. We're continuing enrollment. We're not resting on like, this is where we're landing. The enrollment recruitment plan continues through the summer. I was gonna say something else about that. We have our student information system and registration stuff all geared up, so as soon as families are accepted, they go through the registration link and they're locked in. So there's just so many systems that are in place this year that weren't in place that year. Plus we have a facility, we have families, we have results. That all makes a huge difference in recruitment.
Thank you.
Do you accept the April 23rd deadline as a statutory deadline?
We're happy to meet the April 23rd deadline, of course.
Well, I'm going to stick my
What we
neck
would
out.
ask is that you stay this decision 1 month, and then we pick this up then. If we haven't cured these issues by then we go down that path. If you vote to do this, we believe our lender will back out of the agreement we're in, because it'll mess with the underwriting.
Well, obviously, we do have concerns, and you have concerns, and they're present. The timeline, so let me ask you this, Dr. Mendenborough. Since we found out about all these different concerns, is there a timeline where we have to notice the violation?
Yes, that would be this evening, for a couple of reasons. One is a notice of violation is just that. So notice of violation is not a revocation. It is not even the start of a revocation. It is the first step of a revocation, but can be corrected. We have offered many times, many opportunities for the CAT charter to provide information. Tonight, we've already heard 2 discrepancies of information. One was we have 300 enrollment. Now we have over 400 enrollment. So it's that type of information that we continuously receive. Since they submitted the fiscal stability plan, we have reached out to them several times to get information, and they have failed to give us the information. We have reached out to Grow, and they have told us to talk to Joanna in regards to a sublease that they put into their fiscal stability plan. That we have true concerns about why are they subleasing their facility? Who's the sublease for? They have revenue based on that sublease. We asked Grow about it. They said you need to talk to Joanna. Joanna has yet to give us that information about that, which is part of their fiscal stability plan. John has reached out several times asking them directly about their loan. What is the payback plan? What is that amount? When are they going to receive it? One time we heard that they were going to get it in May. They already got the loan approved, and it was going to be issued in May. And then we heard that it's not approved yet, but they're not going to make April payroll, and they won't give us information on how they're going to make April payroll. Those are all the discrepancies that we continuously get. They wanted to come up and talk. They didn't need to be talking tonight, but they wanted to open up another can of worms, so we're going to address those can of worms. This school, for the safety and security of those students, they have to be fiscally sound. They are not fiscally sound right now, and if we delay any more of this notice of violation, the students and the parents are the ones who are going to suffer, not the management of CAT Charter, but the students and the parents. And I cannot allow that to happen, nor can County Office of Education, nor any other entity. We have not had any issues with any other charter when we asked. Part of the back in October meeting that we had with them was they were to provide monthly updates to this office. They never give us anything without us asking. And that was in their MOU that they proposed to this board as a way to get open. And so they're not following many other things that are minimal compared to the issue that they're not fiscally sound. So parents that come here and speak and want to keep their charter open, we want to do the same thing. But if the management of CAT cannot manage their fiscal solvency, they cannot be continuing to provide services. They're going to have to start cutting services, and that's the last thing that we want. So notice of violation tonight only means that. They have 15 days to remedy it. Revocation does not happen until June. If they get this loan that pays, as Joe mentioned, it doesn't put off anything, but it can help them for this year, that's part of the 15-day remedy, and we can look at that and delay at that point in time. But if we continuously delay, we delayed as far as we could by all those letters of concern, by the attempted meetings, by the asking of information that we continuously do not receive.
Thank you, Dr. Mendeborough. I would like at this time to make a motion to issue a formal notice of violation under the Education Code 47607 to Central Academy of Arts and Technology Charter School.
I have another question.
We
I'm
can
sorry
go
to-
into discussion, either the
After?
motion
Okay,
fails,
I
yeah.
understand.
So we need a second. That's how you open discussion on a board. That's official business. You can fail it, but we need to have a discussion that is on the record, and that is official.
Dr. Mendeborough, yes, okay, very good. This notice of violation, if we do vote on this tonight, when must this notice of violation be filed?
It will be signed, it's right here. It'll be signed by the board president and then issued to them. It'll be delivered to them, and they have 15 days to submit a remedy, which they've already had more than 20 days to submit some type of remedy, and they have yet to submit.
So,
I
just to
feel
be-
like I need to call a point of order, because I did make a motion, so it either fails because it doesn't receive a second, or it receives a second and we go into discussion, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Because I would like to discuss why I made the motion.
So no second at this time? I'm not hearing a second. Motion fails.
They can ask questions too.
Well, if you
They
second
can-
it,
they
you're
can- they
approving.
can-
No, a second opens parliamentary procedure, Robert's Rules of Order.
Okay.
I have presented a motion that is a topic of discussion for this board.
In for a penny, in for a pound. Second.
In order for us to discuss it, there's a second, okay? As the maker of the motion, I have first rights to.
That does not preclude that we can make another motion. Right.
Correct.
So
Yeah,
just to be,
if we
I just
wanna
want you
move
to be
wait-
sure.
If we want to move to table it, we can do that, but
Thank
we
you,
have to
and
put a
I-
motion forward.
I appreciate it.
That
You
is
got it.
parliamentary procedure.
So,
Okay?
so that does not preclude somebody else making
And the
another motion.
discussion is between us. You know,
At this time,
members
it
of
is.
the board, I honestly, I have no doubt that the education that is happening at Charter, or at CAT, is wonderful. To your parents that are here and the educators and the students, I am certain that that is a profound education that your children are receiving. And I truly, although I was not here to approve this charter, I did not sit in this seat, I would want nothing more than for your school to continue to prosper. But I have to be responsible. And that is why I am looking into this. And that's why I've made the motion. I've truly made the motion just so that we as a board can officially discuss what to do with the violation. Obviously, I see some discrepancies between what our office has done and what has been reported to me by parents in the school. I am hopeful that your administration is transparent with parents. I think that's important. I don't know that the parents who have come here tonight understand that there's a possibility that teachers are going without a paycheck.
Trustee, we are supposed to be discussing what we want to do.
But
But no, you're addressing kind
okay.
of.
I am concerned, and the weight of the financial responsibility does ultimately fall on us. I have listened to Dr. Mendeborough, obviously everybody here. You know, I think that there has to be a next step so that we get a resolution, we get something back from that. And, you know, I would hate to see the school fall under the terms of not making their budget. And I do look back since September of the number of notifications that we have done, that we have witnessed, the communications, the things that we've talked about with CAT. And so I would hope that my motion is just that, a way to fix this so that we do not go into a revoking charter process. Thank you.
Because I would really hate to lose a school downtown. I mean, there's, we don't have a centrally located school. We have the elementary school and the charter. But I wasn't sitting in this seat either, but I was at board meetings when you guys were presenting. And there was trouble from day one. And I hate to see it, I hate to see it close too. I'd hate to see anything happen, but we do have a responsibility to our board and KCSOS, for the finances of this charter. And I just don't know if a $2 million loan, there has to be open communication. And you guys they can't just assume that we're gonna be the ones reaching out.
Trustee Robinson?
I'm a little bit torn about this. I look at $2 million as just a lot of money, all right? I look at $2 million as, a lifeboat that'll go ahead and get you from New York to London, okay? It's a pretty big lifeboat. It is a good lifeboat. And I'm really, really curious as to what it was that happened. Yeah. As to what they ran into it. And I think the reports that we've seen here have indicated that this is a management issue. A really significant management issue. And I really do hope that everybody takes that into account. I would like to go ahead and ask too, again, the question I had is that we will go ahead and we will sign the, violation, where the violation be voted on tonight and signed. At what point in time is CAT obligated to go ahead and speak to their potential lender of this? Is that up to them?
We don't know because we haven't been in the loop on that. So they're in works with their loan, but I don't know how this notice of violation would prevent that. This notice violation just basically is stipulating that there is currently mismanagement and there's financial mismanagement that's occurring at the charter, and we're asking for a corrective action to be put into place within 15 days. So that's well within their time period of when they're supposed to have this closed. So, because what's gonna happen is they're going to email me, which they have in the past, and they're gonna ask for good standing. And I will not sign that letter this time around. And I've already signed it twice for them. I've already signed that they are in good standing early on in the year so that they can secure their first loan. If they turn around and ask me for this one, I cannot ethically sign knowing that they are not in a fiscal solvent spot. So that's why this violation, notice violation, is extremely important that they have an understanding. And they can use it to their advantage to the loan to show that they are having a true plan in place, that they can show fiscal solvency for their operation of CAT so that the students can continue to attend there.
Do we have any sort of, do we have any other, let's say that the loan is approved, let's say that we go ahead and get past this particular, we get past this particular bottleneck. Are there any other specific, is there any other specific oversight beyond what's been happening that we would go ahead and enforce?
Yeah, they would have to start complying with what they put in their petition on providing monthly updates, and giving that to us instead of us having to ask them. Every other charter provides the information to us. We don't ever have to call them on anything. That would help significantly. That was what was discussed in the October 7th meeting when we met face-to-face, and we discussed next steps. We asked for a finance committee to be put into place, which is part of their charter petition. They have just now got a committee put into place.
Hold on, we've had that since October. Ernie's
Okay.
been sitting on it, he should have been reporting to you since then.
Okay.
There are a lot of things that are being said right now that are in.
Okay, so that's where we're at right now. So if they can start doing, so the proactive approach would be that we would get all the numbers, we would get everything without us having to always contact them.
Okay, and of course, the Brown Act violations have to stop.
And then the board minutes, that's a whole separate, it's part of this, but that's a whole other lengthy dialogue where their board minutes and their board agendas don't match. Times of when meetings are not matching, postings are not occurring correctly, and we continuously ask about that as well.
Understood, thank you, sir.
Trustee Cisneros?
Yeah, so Ms. Kendrick said earlier that if we approve this notice of violation, that then they would not be able to get the $2 million loan. So it's imminent at that point for them. But if we don't sign this notice of violation and they do get the loan and they don't follow through, then that comes back on us. Am I understanding that correctly? So it
Correct.
seems like we're down to that brass tacks here. Right? That's where we're at.
Yeah, if they receive that loan and they're able to make payroll, and they are able to truly put that into their plan, which was not, as John mentioned, was not even in their interim report to us, that
Right.
they were getting a $2 million. We just saw it in a cash flow, and that's what triggered us to ask where was the $2 million coming from, and that's when they proceeded to tell us they're securing a loan. So if they can get that loan secured, and they have that as a definite, and we have evidence of that, and it's put into their 15-day rebuttal back to us, then next month, there's
Right.
no discussion of a potential revocation come June. They submitted just like we did with another charter that came to us, put things into place, and the board chose not to continue with the revocation.
Is that something you've seen before where they're applying for a loan, but they are stopped because of a notice of violation, or is that?
Honestly, we
do you
don't know. We have never been
Okay.
in this situation
Okay,
before.
Okay.
I would like to make a suggestion for the superintendent of schools to notify us beforehand of the serious allegations that are going forth that have been mentioned, so we can get a better understanding of it and have more of a timeline to respond instead of being hit all of a sudden with the notice of violation. I think that would be more fair and equitable to all parties involved.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Do we want to call for a vote on this issue?
Well, I'd like to be heard. I want this school to succeed. I voted for the charter initially, but I do have some serious concerns, one of them being the lack of communication between the school and the superintendent of schools. I'm also kind of concerned and I don't want to use the word insulted, but it seems like you guys didn't manage your books correctly, and you're kind of blaming us if you guys don't get the loan. And we're charged with doing the right thing to protect the liability of this board and the superintendent of schools. So I think we're put in a tough spot here. But in the end, I do want the school to succeed, and I think voting for a notice of violation would be a step in that direction versus a step towards you not getting your loan.
Well, we have, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
I think the right thing to do is to vote for the notice of violation, and in doing that, I'm hoping that motivates the school to get their books in order, and it still gives them the chance to succeed.
Well, and I understand that Joanna is pretty versed at running charter schools. She usually knows and runs a good charter school from what I know about her. But some of the information I've received is that, they don't agree with everything that's gone on with the superintendent of schools and how it's been handled. So I'm not saying that we are completely correct in everything, because we don't really know. I don't know what the inside scoop is, and I'm not saying that anybody's lying or anything's wrong, but sometimes things happen on both sides. And I would have liked to have more information concerning all of this before we make a serious vote on this.
Can I address Ms. Kendrick? Okay, Ms. Kendrick, when did you take over as principal?
In January.
Of this year?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
She's been the CEO prior.
Okay.
She's doing
I was the
it.
executive director, CEO prior to that. We've been working on this petition for a long time and the charter for a long time.
Well, I'm going to stick my neck out and say that the short history is kind of to their advantage as far as anything that might happen. I really do think that even with the violation, with the notice of violation, I'm incredibly optimistic. I really do think that they can turn this around. I definitely want to see them turn it around.
Oh, I would love to see him turn it around. So again, I want to go back to Dr. Mendenborough. Since we found out about all of these serious concerns, and I know they're serious, what is the timeline that we have to act? Is that in the, is there a law on that? Because I want to know if, since you found out about this and you said, okay, we want to issue this notice of violation, is there a timeline?
Yeah, that's the timeline that I just went through. It's following California Education Code 47607 that stipulates any violations. If this was just overnight and just as happened when an interim 2 was submitted and there was a shocking change, we would not be with you tonight or asking for this violation. This is because it's been ongoing, and we did update the board periodically in regards to their financial status based on ADA. All this comes down with ADA and the over budgeting and over expending based on an ADA. Now, they did do some mid-year, that's how she became the principal / CEO. They reduced some staffing to try to offset some of their potential expenditures. But because they're at an interim, the other issue is they're at an interim 2 that shows a negative balance as of the end of this month. And legally, we cannot certify a interim that has a negative balance, even though their board certified positive, which meant that the board assumed they had a positive budget. It got reported to us by their office that they were actually in almost a $700,000 negative. So that went over 500% ballooning. That's what made this such urgency. So if we just said we're going to now wait until May, they would have missed April payroll. And if they did that, and we didn't do this notice of violation, this board would have to pay the salaries of Cat Charter that their board already said that was in a positive.
When's the last day of their school year?
When is it? Joanna, when's your last day of school?
The last day of May.
Last day of May?
No, I'm sorry, that's not true. It's June 4th.
In
And so
June.
teachers and staff would be paid through the month of June, and then any 12-month would be continuing to be paid. That's why this notice of violation came so abruptly, was because of the fact that their interim two ballooned from 125,000 negative to a almost $700,000 negative.
So you didn't get that until the March 28th of the deficit?
When they submitted their interim is when we asked for a fiscal stability plan, which was back in February when we asked for it, because
Right,
we
but
already
you
saw
didn't
from
get it till
interim one.
March.
And then they turned it in after the March
deadline.
28th or 23rd. And then when we had clarity questions, they were not giving us the information, which hence moved to this notice of
So that's
violation.
why we got ours so late.
Yes, because by ed code, if they cannot make payroll and we did not attempt
we
to,
pay payroll.
to resolve it, then we're on the hook.
We're on the hook. Okay.
So this is to protect the board and at the same time protect the CAT charter as you all are wanting it. We too do. You know, they may think we do not want the CAT charter to be successful because we've heard that several times. I will tell you, Kern County Superintendent Schools Office wants nothing but the success of CAT charter and wants nothing but the success for those students. They're in a great program. The CAT charter is a unique program and one that is gonna, we heard tonight, the benefits from the students that are in the class. Our goal is to make sure they can solvency so that they can perform those services. Without it, they won't be able to do it.
We call for a vote?
Can I ask for a point of clarification? Dr. Middlebrook keeps referring to requesting for information after the second interim that I wasn't responding to. But I don't, like, I'm in my email right now, like, I don't have requests for information.
I'm sorry, I'm going to call for the question. That's a vote.
You don't, I'm sorry, go ahead, I want to hear what you have to say, ma'am.
No, that's it. I hear him saying we were asking Ms. Kendrick for information following the second interim before this was received, but I don't have emails requesting information. So and this is, yeah, I just feel like that's an unfair statement, because I'm not, you know, I know that there were some.
The statement will stand. We've reached an email to you from John Medina requesting information, and you've yet to respond. No more discussion about this.
All right, thank you. In the event that we do this notice of violation, I would like to see in the interim before the 15 days that you, where we could have a meeting where you both come to the table and discuss your concerns, and that you present your evidence, whatever concerns you're saying, both of you, that it hopefully can be worked out.
Are you saying like a special meeting?
Yes.
In
Madam
between,
Chair-
I'm sorry.
Madam Chairman, can I?
Similar to the October 7th meeting. that
Can
we
I
had
just
between
interject some
KCS.
parliamentary law so that everybody understands? We have an opportunity to do a couple of things. Number one, we're in the middle of a motion. We're having an open discussion. I've called for the question, which is obviously to take a vote, okay? Somebody can interject. If you feel passionate about this and you want to lay it on the table, you can suspend it. You can move forward to vote with it. I mean, there are some options here. There are amendments that can be added to the motion. So, you know, it's like parliamentary
That's what
law
we're doing.
is we put the motion on the table so that we could have a rightful discussion. I just don't want other trustees to feel that they are totally caught in I have to vote yay or nay, because I know that I have felt that here on this board simply because we may not have followed the legal rules of parliamentary law and Robert's Rules of Order.
So if we do a notice of violation, like you just said, Julie, can we add that we do the special meeting in 15 days, before the 15 days?
We can request that in the motion, yes.
Would that meeting involve the entire board or just Dr. Mendenberg? and his-
No, the request was to have a meeting between CAT Charter and KCSOS.
Correct, not us.
Oh, okay.
They would
Not
not
us.
come to
Not
the
us.
next board meeting, and they already have an opportunity at the next board meeting to go through a full presentation on what their 15 days, or what their plan is that they submit to the office within the 15 days. And so you would be able to hear from them on everything that they have lined
We-
out.
We
then
would
you
get
can-
notice of that?
Yes, and that would be at the next board meeting in May. And then what I will do is give you an update from the meeting we hold between CAT and KCSOS. I will give communication out and include CAT in that communication so they know exactly what is being communicated to the Board of Trustees.
And they're free to contact us as well. They know
Yes.
that. Okay, thank you.
I called for the question.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
So
so
we can fail it, table it. I mean,
any other amendments or suggestions on this?
take a vote.
We'll take a vote. Roll call?
Excuse me. Was it seconded?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Julie Beechner,
Aye.
Joe Marcano,
Aye.
Mary Little,
Aye.
Jose Gonzalez,
Aye.
Lori Eskew,
Aye.
James Robinson,
Aye.
Lori Cisneros.
It's really hard, but I.
Thank you.
It's just a notice. It's just a notice. They're gonna be fine.
There's time.
There's time.
There's time.
I really want to have a good report next month.
Me too. Cut somewhere.
I hope you can tell that this is painful for us because we do care about the families and the kids, and hopefully you can see the predicament that we're in. But thank you
Let's
for
take a
coming out.
5-minute break, please. We'll come back and resume. Thank you. We resume our meeting. Thank you for everybody's input on that. That was a tough decision. Hopefully, they can go ahead and get things taken care of, because we would like to see them succeed, and I think we all think that. So, yeah, for the record, we are going to take 4.22 down to 4.24 as one motion. So can we make a motion for that?
Motion?
Second. Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So ordered, thank you. And 4.25, our annual approval of the Williams Uniform Quarterly Report.
There was no findings at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Mendeborough.
Motion.
Second.
We don't have to do a motion on it. I mean, am I missing something? We just receive and file it, thank you.
So we can't go, Lori's eating. Let her finish it.
It's a receive and
That
file.
part, not this
I had to take a bite, but man, you can't eat that with your hands.
And we'll go down to county board member reports. Trustee Mercado, do you have a report?
Nothing to report. I'm glad that Lori visited Shafter.
Yeah,
From Tibet, it's a long drive.
wasn't that cool? That was really
Nice
cool.
video.
Yeah, thank you.
Trustee Eskew?
So, well, I got to go to Greenfield this year, or this month, or whatever. They got their first gym at their middle school, and it is very nice. It was really nice to be there, see it be dedicated. So that was kind of a fun day. My friend Mercy's on their school board, so it was really nice to be there. Greenfield is in my area, so that was fun. I also have a question, Dr. Mendeborough. So all these budgets come out, and we just get the piece of paper of the findings. Is there any way, I've done budgets, but I've done other county budgets, okay? But how do we get to that finding? Can we see how these budgets work? Like,
Which budget are you referring to, like
Any
the
of-
charter? Or
any of them. Like, we've had them come in for the charters, we've had them come in, I know we get like state budgets, we get, how do they work?
They make
Like-
your eyes bleed when you read them.
Well, I know they did when I worked for probation. They made your eyes bleed. I liked spending the money, though, when we had to spend it. That was fun. But I'd like to know how our budgets work.
Yeah.
So I'd like to, try to do that. And then also, my second question, so, President Trump is signing executive orders, and he has said there is male and female, and he has said there is no boys in girls' sports. How are we addressing this? Because California isn't doing that.
Correct. California still has the law that states that students can play in either sport. There are discussions up in Sacramento. I'm not sure where they're going to go, but there has been some sessions discussing to redefine that, because it all ties to the federal money that will not come to California if they don't change those rules. So
Well, I do
they're
know
in the works.
that some of those have already been voted down by the committee.
Oh, yeah, the committees are voting everything down, but
Right,
they're trying
so-
some way, and I believe the governor's trying to figure out a way to do this as well, because
Oh, yeah,
everyone
he
knows
opened
that
his
there's a
mouth.
lot of states, or there's a lot of funding that will not come to the state if they cannot do something. But as of right now, the law still is in existence.
So we're just gonna stay at a standstill for right now on things?
Yeah, all school districts.
All
are-
school
Yeah,
districts
they're
are.
all at a standstill at this point in time.
Okay.
Trustee
All right,
Eskew, I wanted to address your budget concern
okay.
report. In the past, we used to have a detailed budget analysis or review come to us, and we had do you remember who was it that always made sure that we had all these line items and what they meant?
John Lafleur
Mhm.
or Priscilla?
No, he was on the board.
Oh,
Dawn, thank you. Good memory. We had a board member who actually worked with the finance department, and he would always ask questions, and he developed a list of codes of how the budget and what it means. So I'm sure that that type of thing would help you learn what our budgets are and what the money's being spent on. If we can kind of revise that.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, and what we'll do is when we do the budget adoption, we can give a little more detail on how those numbers come to be.
That would be great.
So that way you have an understanding of what, how that total comes to be.
Yeah, I'd like to see how y'all spend your money.
Well, it's a valid concern. That's what we were supposed to do.
No, it is, but yeah, no, that is a valid concern. I know I'm kind of, we're kind of late now. you
Yeah,
know,
but
yeah.
no, when we do the
But no,
budget
it is,
adoption, we
yeah.
can go in a little more detail of how, where those numbers fall and everything, so you have a better understanding. of
Yeah,
what-
'cause I
What the
just-
dollars mean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
no
would be
problem.
great.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
We don't ask.
Trustee Beechner?
I do want to reiterate that it was difficult to have something that affects those kids, and I'm certain that the school is doing wonderful things, and that is tough. Unfortunately, in this position, we have to look out for those kids as well. And so knowing that those teachers would not make payroll, or the school would not make payroll in April, that does no justice to those kiddos. So anyways, and in order for us to discuss as a board and share this information and really talk about it, we have to make motions. So I just want to encourage that moving forward, that we have to put a motion up, have a discussion, and then take a vote. And it's always our right to vote it down, right? I mean, even as the maker of the motion, I could have voted against my own motion, because you could have easily swayed me to say no to it. So please just make sure that I come from a good space in moving that. The other thing I want to share is that I participated in the Kern County Career STEM Expo out at the CTEC building out there by Independence High School. I saw about 3,500 students, grades 6 through 12. And that is an entire day that is built around showcasing industry to students. So I was there with Bakersfield College and Animal Science and the rodeo team, and there was just so many industries present, companies, really just engaging with students with the career industry that is out there. So it was well done, and I know KCSOS plays a part in that. It's a county-wide. Bakersfield College plays a huge part in that. So yeah, really, really well done. My hat's off to Erin Hodson, who handles that with Kern High School District. Her part, anyway.
Thank you. Yep. Do you have a report? Oh,
Nothing to report.
okay. Nice to see you here, by the way.
Yes, nice to see you, Jose.
Yeah, how are you feeling?
Doing great. Now, you might ask or wonder why, but that was done back in the Olympics in '68 or so. John Carlos. Well, I'm not raising any protest or anything.
I thought it was more O.J. Simpson.
I thought you planned to murder somebody.
Yeah, I just thought it
my
was
gosh.
trying on the glove.
Allegedly.
All right.
For medical reasons.
Well, it's good to see you here.
Good to see.
Yeah.
Trustee Cisneros?
So in light of what Trustee Eskew said earlier, I think you were referring to AB 89 with the issue with
84, 89.
there's a
yeah.
bunch of them out right now,
Yeah.
but so Temecula Valley Unified School District wrote a resolution supporting AB 89. And so my question for Dr. Mendeborough is there a way around this, or is there a way do we have power to bypass the state as a county so that we can make sure we're complying with federal?
No, unfortunately, we have to comply with state laws in order to receive the federal funding. Because it goes to federal funding goes to the state then allocates it to the districts.
I understand
Now,
that.
you can write a resolution to support any of those bills. That's not a problem. But what we couldn't do is say, in Kern County, boys would play on boys, girls would play on girls. And
Okay.
circumvent that.
Well, you could.
Yes.
I mean, you could, but.
Yeah, you could, but you're going to get repercussions.
Yeah.
I see, okay.
But you can support bills that are up in Sacramento, such as those, and do resolutions. We did it before. Districts, when I was in the district, we did it. We'd write a resolution and
Well-
submit it to the state.
And that's Assembly Bill 84?
89, actually.
Yeah, I think it's
It's
89.
89?
89.
Yeah.
And to add on to that, if we ever did do something like that, they always say they would threaten us with the funding, but so far nobody's ever not gotten their funding.
Yeah, personally.
So that has to be an agenda item to discuss and write and
Resolution.
approve? Yes.
Yeah, we can bring it back at next month to have a resolution approved. That's not a problem.
Okay. I'd like to request that we put that on the agenda.
Thank you. We'll put that on the agenda.
And as far as the bus drivers, you know, I had such a great time doing that. There was only one person that said, I asked a lot of people, what can we do to help you? What can we do for you? And of course, one of them did say, we need to get paid more. So my question to you is, what are the KCSOS, do you know? You probably don't know off the top of your head, but can we get a report on what they make, what their salary is or their hourly? This particular bus driver was saying that UPS and Walmart delivery drivers get paid more than the school bus drivers. So I just want to make sure we're treating them the way they should be treated as far as their wages in light of them carrying precious cargo.
Yeah, every school district has their own salary schedules that are union approved, so they have their own bargaining units.
Okay.
Same KCSOS, they have a bargaining unit. They all establish their wages based on their comfort level or whatever they want to, that they agree to.
Okay, so that
Um,
doesn't come from us per se, as
Oh,
far
no.
as accounting?
No, the board doesn't have
okay.
any of that input in
Okay.
regards to personnel of any entity.
Okay,
But yeah, I want to say offhand, Christian, bus drivers, a lot of them, they're at the higher end of the pay schedule for any classified employee group because they're such hard to find and they have such a, the requirements for their driving and everything is much higher than some of the other positions. So they are paid at a higher level than most classified employee ranks. But they always
Good
could be
to
paid
know.
more, everyone could be paid.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
okay. I just thought
we're
I'd
at
ask.
the top and they get a lot of other benefits as well.
okay, yeah, that's good.
I don't know which district the person you were referring from, but
That's a good answer, though, thank you.
I could give you an average.
Yes, yes.
Union.
And as far as the other executive orders coming from President Trump about the CRT and the DEI in curriculum, and I've been scrubbing through this Edmonton, which I've really enjoyed. I don't see it in there, so I just want to make sure that maybe someone can talk about what is in the curriculum that could fall into the category of CRT or DEI, because the way it's set up, you have to actually go through the program as a student. So I can't look at it as a teacher and go, what are the,
Yeah, right now, none of the CRT, what would be labeled CRT or DEI is in any of the curriculum that we provide to our students. Any
Is
future
not.
any future curriculum could potentially have it, but again, that's gonna be up in limbo because we're not sure what's gonna happen from the
Right.
state in response to the executive orders.
I
But
think
all
it-
our current curriculum does not have that.
okay.
I think it's gonna start, depending on what happens, because we're in limbo, but I think the CRT and DI, I think the CRT is gonna start at being a high school requirement
Yeah.
in 25, 26. But it all depends on what comes down the pipeline, so.
And then I'd like to congratulate the all-girls middle school robotics team at Downtown School. Sorry if I took your thunder on that, but my niece is on that team, so I'm just super proud of them. That was her first time going out of state, first time going on an airplane. I mean, it just was a great, I got to hear all about it when she came back. But so I reached out to my sister-in-law to see if they might be available to come to our next board meeting to give a little demo for us. And so we're working on that, if it's okay with President Little, to have them come. Maybe they could lead us in the flag salute and do a little demo of their robotics experience. They went to the U.S. Open competition, and they placed in the top 20 in their division. And my niece is Claire Armstrong. If you're out there listening, go Claire and team. Just super proud of them. She did the note-taking and the documentation in the books. And that book earned them a design award. So anyway, they just did a great job. So I'd love to have them come and next month and at least share a little bit about their experience, if that's okay with you, Ms. Little.
I think that would be fabulous.
Awesome.
We just need to put a time limit on these.
I know. Yes, I'll make sure to make that clear.
These
What do you think? So I can make it clear? 10 minutes, or is that
What do you think? 10, 15 minutes is the top?
10,
Yeah.
15 top? Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
'cause-
I'll make sure it's clear. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm looking forward to the spring barbecue, and that's coming up next month in May. And Miss Valencia is going to help with decorations and setup. And Trustee Little and I got together. I know I said this before, but with the team at KCSOS with the food services, and I just love this. So thank you, and I'm super excited, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. And that's it. Thank you. What date is that? It is May. I don't want to say the wrong date. I don't have my cell phone on me.
I have it.
I don't want to say the wrong date. Is May 9th a Friday?
May 9th.
9th.
Yes,
May
May
9th.
9th.
And there's two.
On a Friday.
There's a morning and a.
Yeah, we were able to add on to that, they were planning on just doing the lower grades, and so Lori and I petitioned them and begged us to have all grades. So we're going to have 2 different sessions of the barbecue. So if you're available to come and help out, we're going to be there for at least a few hours for the different grade levels.
What time does it start?
We'll send out.
We'll send out.
reminders.
Yeah, we don't know.
We'll send out reminders.
Yeah, and there's games and maybe some line dancing and crafts and maybe planting some seeds. It's going to be a good time. Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
You're gonna lead that one? You're gonna lead that?
Oh, you're going to be shaking.
Everything I got's right here in these hands, ain't nothing in these feet. Nothing.
Do you have a report, Mr. Robinson?
Well, I've had the pleasure of working with a couple of the leaders in life. Thank you, Steve. Actually went on ahead and brought them out into the somewhat conservative political world. They have visited a Tea Party meeting. They have visited a GBRA meeting. They got to speak at those. Go ahead and work their speaking chops, and they did themselves proud. Really, really proud. I went to the convention that they had, the Leaders in Life convention. Couldn't believe it. 1,300 students there.
That's awesome.
1,300 middle school and high school students. All right, and I don't think that I didn't see one of them falling asleep. I mean, I looked. I did look. But it's really, really encouraging. You can feel the energy in the room. Well, you were there, Mr. Menber. It's just an absolutely wonderful organization, and I think that we can all expect great things from it. Really and truly, that's the carrot. Now it's time for the stick. The Big Ten. The Big Ten. Okay, 10 Commandments. All right. Little birdie told me that Mr. Jason Rampart from the National Association of Christian Lawmakers is in favor of the 10 Commandments and would come out and say so. And also, my understanding, Ms. Little, is that didn't Pastor Frazier let you know that Brad Dacus has actually come out in favor of moving the 10 Commandments forward?
He has, but that's not anything that that I know that they're presenting to the board at this time, so.
Well, what would, but Pastor Frazier is in Washington right now. I talked to him today, and gave him a call. But, when are we gonna take a vote on the Ten Commandments?
That, we can't just arbitrarily take a vote.
Well, I know.
It has to be on the agenda.
Well, that's
and-
what I'm saying. I'm not saying right now, but, no,
He's
that's,
asking
I
to
mean,
put
come
it
on,
on
it's
the
10 o'clock
agenda.
at night, Reverend. I want to put it on the agenda for next month.
Well, I would think that Pastor Angelo would be the one that's going to bring it back to us if he's ready to present some evidence to us, if that's what you're saying.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I do want to see that move forward. I really and truly do.
All right, can I ask a question? Are you asking for like board discussion and a vote on it?
Well, ultimately,
Or are you asking for more information from Dr. Frazier?
well, myself personally, I think the board should vote on this next meeting. Ms. Little, for, I'm sure, very, very valid reasons, is suggesting wait until we hear from Angela Frazier. But I don't want to let this thing sit much longer. I really and truly don't. I think we need to go ahead and address it one way or the other.
I understand your concern, but I don't want to put it on the agenda prematurely. If Dr. Frazier, or Dr. Angelo has, if he has a Dr. Angelo.
Yeah.
If he has pertinent
Angelo.
information for us to glean and that he has some information, then I think that would be a more appropriate time.
Okay, I'm not sure what other information we could possibly glean from Dr. Frazier. I think he's pretty much laid it all out on the line.
I'm not sure about that, so, I mean, you could make a motion, put it on the agenda if you want, but I'm thinking it's a little premature.
At what time during the course of this month, leading up to next month's meeting, can we ask something be put on the agenda? Is
We
that
can
something
ask,
people-
we could ask it to be put on the agenda anytime before we have to post the agenda.
Okay,
And that
Which is
has
a
to be
week before.
a week
Week before?
before, and
Okay.
then it has to be posted 48 hours.
all right, very good. I'll probably be in contact with you one way or the other
Okay,
about that. And other than that, that's all the news I've got fit to report.
right, and our student representative, Ms. Valencia, do you have a report?
I had at first I thought it was called CAP, and then I had to read their lips and it's called CAT, and I was like, okay, that makes more sense. So I had, when they would cry and they'd tell their stories, like it was very empathetic, and it made me sad, like that you guys like had to make that decision, but obviously you guys did it for the best. Like you guys also felt remorse for it, and you guys gave your best option that you guys could. So I was happy that you guys were thinking more about your job than the hard thing, because you have to do what is best for the students. So I'm glad that you guys did that. But I'm also sad that they had to put the stories out there, and like it made me kind of sad. But I'm really glad you guys chose that decision. I'm 100% in with you guys with that.
And it ain't over yet.
That's right.
I'm hoping they have a good comeback too, because they do have plenty of time to make a comeback.
That's right.
Hopefully they can.
Thank you.
Madam Chairman, can I also go back and ask that I would like a presentation down the road. It could be May, could be June, might be a little more fitting for May if I can get them to do it. But Foothill High School had the national winning parliamentary procedure team. Be it fitting that we've been doing some parliamentary procedure, and I would love, and I've reached out to the advisor right now, for her to bring her freshmen, they're novice, to do a round. So it takes 8 minutes, 8-minute round. So
Well,
like
we have-
literally it's timed, and it doesn't have to be May, but I have reached out, so.
Would they be able to still do it in June? I know it's the end of the school year.
Yeah, because they go to nationals in the fall. So
Okay, so let's plan on June. Is that okay?
I will suggest to her, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Is that with FFA?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be exciting.
Fine.
Good for, congratulations to them.
I didn't see that on, 'cause I follow people.
So I'm going to give my report. I want to also have on the agenda a motion for to oppose the new bill AB 84, that we would send a letter of opposition to the maker, Mayor Tucci, and It is a new bill that I believe is dangerous for California, and it amends several education codes, and it kills charter schools. The bill threatens the very existence of the independent, steady, and flexible learning charter schools that many of us rely on. It will cut funding by up to 30% for non-classroom-based schools. It will ban schools from partnering with families to create customized learning plans. It will force our students to allow district rules without giving them district resources. It'll add costly bureaucracy that takes away funding from students. And it'll give local districts more power to block charter growth, even for schools with wait lists. All schools, and most important for us, hundreds of homeschool charter schools across California are at risk. Families could lose access to the programs that work best for their children. While we're in support of greater accountability for charter schools, AB 84, I believe, goes way too far, and it threatens the charter schools that we have in place right now and those that would want to be implemented in the future. Senator Allen introduced a bill, SB 414, that offers a well-balanced, thoughtful approach that protects students while strengthening oversight. And that bill is online if you want to learn more about it, and I believe that bill would be beneficial to charter schools. So if I can bring that before the board next month, and we can maybe write a letter of opposition in a resolution form, I would appreciate that.
Isn't there something online that we can fill out and send in?
Yeah, you can always go to the education or the legislative page
Right.
and send.
I think I saw that.
Do you
And-
want, just for clarification, you want to write a resolution for AB 84 or SB 414? Or
I would rather just do it, we can do one. We could actually do two if you would like to, but I would really like to oppose the AB 84.
oppose? Okay.
Position resolution and a support resolution.
We could do a support resolution for SB 414. That would probably be a,
And then the other resolution for
For
89.
89, right, okay.
Now, they got all kinds of them coming down the pipeline right now.
Yes.
And we all know that FERPA affords parents and guardians the right to access their child's educational records and the rights to have records amended in certain circumstances, and the rights to oversight over the disclosure of personally identifiable information from the emotional records. So I just wanted to give you an update of what FERPA is, I think we all know that, but then the U.S. Department of Education, the Secretary Linda McMahon, she has, as everybody probably knows, has launched an investigation in the California Department of Education over alleged violations of the Family FERPA Act because of the new California laws that went into effect that bar schools from disclosing a child's gender identity to their parents. So this is going to create, I think, a showdown with California and the federal government, I believe, at some point, and we have to be prepared of what we're going to do and how we're going to defend the parents and the rights of the parents, because they do have rights according to FERPA.
And Mary, is that AB 1955 is what you're referring to?
Well, it does include AB 1955 that went into law last year that prohibits school districts and county offices of education, charter schools, and so on to disclose information related to student sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression without the student's consent or the parent's consent unless mandated by law. So there are laws that are implemented to guarantee that, and I think that from what I've learned in my all my school board years here, is that we are supposed to follow the federal government first before we follow the state, and I'm not sure that we always do that. Newsom signed the law into effect, and he argues that the bill strengthens California's existing protections against forced outings of students in schools and ensures that teachers and staff do not interfere with parent-child relationships. And the administration previously sued the Chino Valley and we all know about that. And then in a viral clip of a nearly half-hour and long episode earlier this month, Newsom conceded to Turning Point that it's deeply unfair to have biological males compete against female athletes. However, he would not condemn a trans athlete who, in his own state, had crushed female in a track, in a competition in long jump. So he's talking out both sides of his mouth, and
Business as usual?
you know, and
Backtrack.
right now that he wants to be president. So we, you know, and I feel for anybody that, you know, even our, all the school districts who are having to try to negotiate and to work all of this to make sure it's it's equitable. Secretary Linda McMahon from the Fed says she has formally warned California Governor Newsom to comply with federal law on prohibiting males in women's sports. And she says to him, your recent comments about male athletes playing in women's sports that is deeply unfair came to the office for my attention. Allowing participation in sex-separated activities based on gender identity places schools at risk of Title IX violations and the loss of federal funding. As governor, you have the duty to inform California school districts of the risk. If a student claims a gender identity at school, managing this issue bureaucratically while hiding from parents violates FERPA. As the Secretary of Education, I'm asking you to inform this department whether you will remind schools in California to comply with federal law by protecting sex-separated spaces and activities. I'm officially asking you to publicly assure parents that California teachers will not facilitate any gender transition. So what she is saying to me is that there's federally protected spaces, and that to me is also, I know we don't have sports in our district, but we do have bathrooms. And federally, that to me means that those students are protected and that we should protect them. And I have also concerns with some of the tampons machines that are still in the boys' bathrooms, because I don't think that's appropriate. So, and I believe that space is federally protected for men, and they don't have to be subjected to that. So that is my concerns on that. And oh, I do have a couple other things. The 4 distinguished schools. Did I?
Keep going. Make my report short.
The 4 distinguished schools that are, I'm going to leave it to you.
No, you're good.
That were listed by the State Superintendent of Public Instruction were Norris Elementary, Ronald Reagan Elementary, Golden Oak, and West Park Elementary. And so to them, to receive this prestigious award, especially 4 in Kern County, was amazing. And if you want to know more about it, it is on our website. And just to update you with the Mississippi is considering a law with Bill 594 that is considering putting the 10 Commandments on display in their schools, and Texas really did recently pass legislation to put it in displayed in some of their schools. So, and that's all I have. And it's up to you, Dr. Mendenborough.
Well, you shortened my list. It's pretty good. No, a couple of items for you. I'll be brief. Department of Education, just update you in regards to what that means to the states. Was on a meeting call this morning, and they discussed that the Department of Education, as of right now, the understanding from the administration is that the funding from the Department of Ed will continue to flow to the states. It'll just be reassigned to different departments in the administration. What is being demolished, or whatever he's calling it, is the staffing, the overhead of the Department of Education. He wants to save dollars in that and turn it around either to reduce the deficit of the country or to reallocate those funds to come directly to schools. So the Department of Education funding will still continue. He may look at doing grants or something else than title money. It might be something else, but the dollars should continue to flow. So hopefully we'll see that stay as is. Parent notification, AB 1955, as was already mentioned, the governor has made very clear that AB 1955 has one stance only, and that means that a school district cannot write a policy to out a child, so to speak. But he made it very clear, and he made it again on the podcast, as Mary alluded to, that schools are not prevented from contacting parents immediately upon knowing that a child wants to be called a different name. So we already told our district soups here in Kern County that they are able to contact parents immediately upon the changes of a student. They just cannot write a policy that says that they have to do it. So
Amen.
that's where we stand
Well,
with
they
that.
can write a policy.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
we can write
So,
one.
so we told them that that's based on the governor, and we'll see what happens in regards to that. We also have policy within our office that any records of a student must be communicated directly to a parent, and so all the students that are in our alt ed programs will get communication to a parent first, and also to the district at the same time, unless they come to us. Unless they come to us already established with that name, then we, but if they come to us and they want to change your name, we'll be contacting the parents right away. Probation will still be working with probation because they have jurisdiction over those
If I
students.
could ask a question real quick about that, seems that early on, even before I was on this board, there was a question raised about dual records being kept.
Mhm.
All right? Is that something that has been addressed? Is it something that needs
Yeah,
to be addressed?
we do not have dual records in alt ed, in our programs. I don't know about school districts, that's their prerogative,
Okay.
but in our programs, there's only one record, and that is the student record that comes either from the district or is initiated by us when they enroll from probation.
Thank you.
And you were saying that's just a recommendation to the superintendents that if a
We-
student,
Yeah, we told the district soups that if a child wants to change their name or request a record change, that a school or a teacher may immediately contact parents without violating any
Violating the AB 1955.
confidentiality laws. The
Nice.
AB 1955,
Yeah,
as
but
per
it's not mandated,
clarifying
right?
from the governor's latest discussion, was that
They won't get
AB
caught.
1955 is just saying they cannot create a policy that mandates teachers
Right.
to call. But they have now the freedom, and in Kern, they typically do anyway.
That's good to hear.
So we have that. The Bell Tower Plaza is getting, renovations are underway. We're hoping to have that done by the fall. What's really nice is that the kitchen that used to be part of the Bell Tower kitchen is getting redone through college and career tech dollars, and the alt ed culinary program will be housed in there as well. And they will be televising classes to other sites that have culinary programs. So it'll be a really neat program once that's up and running. We have distinguished schools already. We're going to bring that back to you. Last thing is Aurora dedication. We are going to be dedicating Aurora, the Learning Center, to Mary Barlow on May 2nd at 10 a.m. With a 9:30 arrival with student music and stuff. It'll be a short program, and we're just dedicating the building. It still will be called the Aurora Learning Center. It'll be dedicated to Mary Barlow. She was instrumental in getting that opened when she was the county or associate superintendent, and getting that open to serve the most neediest students who otherwise used to be transported or had to transport themselves out of Kern County to get services.
Can you send us an email with that
Yes, we're
information?
going to send all that information. That and the barbecue will be sent to you. And then, as I mentioned, 25-26 school year, I'll give you the whole year's calendar of events. And that way you can kind of pick and choose what you want and just let us know. We'll be happy to coordinate you attending those events so that you're not like just showing up and like, hi, I'm here. Did anyone know I was coming? We would like to at least let them know that you're coming, so that way you can, that way if there's any parking or anything that we need to do.
Barbecue sauce and line dancing option.
And that's about it. We'll get those resolutions back written, and I'll have you read them and put in the board agenda.
Thank you. One point of order on our student representative. Should we put it in the minutes that she is a voting record as well? I think other school districts do, but I'm not sure.
We can reflect it, it just doesn't count towards anything, but yeah, we
I-
can definitely reflect her in the minutes.
And just to be clear, you can't vote on certain issues, but can you explain?
Just closed session items.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, because you won't be in the room for those. But any other items, you are able to voice a vote. You just can't have a tiebreaker vote. So if the board was, which it's an odd number anyway, so it's rarely that they'll ever have a tie, but your vote doesn't cast a unanimous vote or a.
But I want you to be seen that you are on the record and voting.
Yep.
But she
thank
could
you.
create a tie.
She could create a tie, but it won't count. The tie
Do we
will.
have that somewhere in board policy just so that the public understands that?
No, there's no
Okay.
board policy in regards to that.
I didn't know if there's.
Any student, member of a board legally
Something.
cannot. There's ed code and law that stipulates that a student
Can
representative
vote for a
can vote,
record,
but
but
cannot
not for
vote for
the
any-
decision
yes,
of the
for a
board.
decision of-
Okay, I
correct.
just wanted to make sure that
Yeah,
somebody in
that's
the
already in that
public
code.
didn't go.
No, it's other school districts
And we,
do.
and we'll
Okay.
note that actually in the agenda somewhere. We'll make some note about that.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Our next meeting is May 13th, and all the information that we talked about will be added for that agenda item. And I thank you, everybody, for coming. Have a good night, and I'll see you next month.
Thank you. One point of clarification, who gave us this packet?